All right. Okay, so inside the storage account, here in the standard one, we talk about what is mean by container. After that, what is mean by blobs. Then we also cover table in short. After that, we cover file in short, right? So this is kind of a high level overview, but we covered container and blob and how the security works. After that, we talked about what are the redundancies we have. We have LRS, ZRS, then GRS, RAGRS, then GZRS, and RAGZRS. For these two, for this LRS, we have 99.99999 up to 11 nines of percentage of SLA. Here we have 12 nines percentage of SLA. And from here onwards, we have 99.9999 up to 16 nines percentage of SLA, right? So you need to remember that. Now, because why I'm focusing more on this, any examination, either you are going for AZ 104, 204 or 305, they will have the question on these terms. So if I want to protect my storage account from the data center failure, and I wanted to choose the list, I want to do the cost optimization as well, right? Then you want data center failure option as well as you want to reduce your costing. Then the answer is ZRS, because this will give you the data center failure solution, as well as among all these things, ZRS is more cheapest one, right? So you need to read that questions properly and then you need to answer it. Okay. Now, after this, you will be having some questions on lifecycle management as well. We have the access tiers, right? We have hot tier, cool tier, cold tier, and archive tier. So if you remember, we created one rule. After that, we check that code view. So you will be having the question on that code view. They will give you the code view and they will ask the question. So it is a simple one. Once you read it, you can easily understand what is inside that, right? And then you need to answer that questions. Okay. So this is all about the storage. And after that, we talk about security of storage account. Then we cover SQL database, which is a PaaS service. And after that, we cover Cosmos database. Now, let me just quickly go for this one and let's start some of the resources, because we need to create some resources for our next part. Let me start with Data Factory. So see here. Now, other services that we need to discuss is Data Factory. We are not going to do anything with Databricks. I will just give you the high level overview where we are using that. After that, we will be having Azure Synapse Analytics. And then we also need to talk about the Stream Analytics. Okay. So let me quickly create Data Factory. So I will go with day 5 only. And over here, put that Data Factory day 5, something like that name, or day 6, right? After that, East US region, I'll go with Central US version V2. That is fine for me. Now, data factories and all data factory, Databricks, Azure Synapse Analytics are having the direct connectivity with CI/CD as well. So you need to integrate that things with your CI/CD pipelines. So this is your Git configuration. So if you want to connect with your Git repository with either Azure DevOps or the GitHub version control, then you can enable this. So right now we are not using it. So I can just put that configure Git later. So once you create a data factory, then also you can do that. Networking, I will keep it public endpoint because I wanted to use it. And then encryption, Microsoft is doing the encryption. But if you want to manage it, then and then only there is one option. By default, see here, by default, data is encrypted with Microsoft managed keys. Whatever the data is there, that will be encrypted and decrypted in the backend, right? So this is the data factory. And if you can um, observe its logo, then it is kind of a factory, right? So we'll talk about these pointers. So first of all, let's complete the validation and then hit on create. Data factory is not that much costlier service, not a data bricks, but Azure Synapse Analytics. Whenever we are using that Synapse Analytics, we need to make sure about that. Once you are done with your work, you need to delete it. So this is a factory kind of a logo. Now let me go for data bricks as well. So if I can go for the Azure data bricks, so here I will put it into the same resource group and I'll put some workspace name as data bricks day 6, right? Central US, and here you need to choose the premium version because right now Databricks is facing some issues with the standard one. Maybe in some days Microsoft will come up with new pricing tier or new changes onto the standard. So that's why you need to upgrade it to premium. If you are creating the standard tier as well, then also you need to change it to the premium one, right? So right now we'll go for the premium one itself. Here workspace, either you can go for the hybrid one, require access to the compute and storage in your Azure account support for the custom compute. So if you want to create a custom compute, you can go for this. If you want to go for the serverless, you can go for it. See here. So either you can go for the serverless, either you can go for the hybrid. Anything will be fine. Now, what is mean by serverless that you already know, right? After that networking, I will not do any changes onto the networking part, security compliance, and then review and create it. So let's create that. And then once we are ready, we'll go for Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, now I'll choose for see here. We have this Azure Synapse Analytics. Now, to create that, before you are creating, if you want, you can create a data warehouse. Now, it's called as Azure SQL pools, right? So, data warehouse means what? It is relational database, right? So if you have some of the tables, you want to create a small kind of a structure, you can go for the SQL database. If you want more than that, you can go for the elastic pools. But if you have the huge amount of demand like popular websites and all, and you need to store that all kind of a data, and there is more transactions are happening day by day. So for that purpose, you need to go for data warehousing. Data warehousing is also the same kind of things. You can work with the SQL, and this is the relational database, but the size is really very large. Now, Microsoft make the changes in the naming convention. Now the data warehouse becomes, wait a minute. Now the data warehouse becomes SQL pool, SQL pools. Now, if you want to really create that, the pricing is very, very high for it, right? It is near about 1000 per hour. So I'm not going to create right now, okay? But if you want to create it, use it, delete it, okay? Because we are doing it for our testing purpose. Now for Synapse Analytics also in the backend, there is a SQL pool you need to attach. Right now, I'm not going to attach it, but I will show you where is that option. Okay. So here, let's go for the resource group. Here, if you want to add separate managed resource group. Now, Synapse Analytics is something like that. Um, it is a combination of so many things. So you have created a Databricks, you have created a data factory, right? So as well as you are using the SQL databases. So Synapse Analytics will give you the combination of all three with the advantages, with the features, right? So in a one what we can say one go itself, one resource itself, you can utilize your data factory resources. You can also go for your data bricks. You can query by using the data bricks, or as well as you can query by using the SQL databases or SQL pools. So it is three in one, kind of. I will not say that all in one, it is three in one. Okay. Now, to do these all things, if you want to add the separate management group for it, you can go for it. It is not a mandatory, because if you are creating, then and then only it will create that and it will keep all the required resources over there. Otherwise, you can just keep it as it is. Now, workspace name, I will put it as Synapse day 6, right? Central US is okay for me. Now here it is asking me for the data lake storage. Data lake we have to add. Okay, Microsoft Synapse. For Microsoft Synapse, we need to go for resource provider. Let me go for that, because this is my new subscription and we are doing it everything from scratch. So this options you will also face, right? These issues. So here we have the subscription, and inside that subscription, there is a resource provider. So let me go for Synapse, right? And here you just need to register. That's it. Now, let me go back to my Synapse Analytics and then let's wait for some time. Okay. Once we are done, then and then only we'll go for it. Okay. Now, let's go back. So we were talking about the Cosmos database and we were talking about the revision part. So in Cosmos database, you need to understand that it is not having its own identity. So if you are creating with MongoDB, it will act as a MongoDB. If you are creating it using SQL, it will act as a SQL. So why we have the Cosmos DB in place? Because of 5 features. Now, what are that 5 features? Can anybody recall? Yes? Anything regarding with the Cosmos database, what we learn in Cosmos? Yes, team.
Pricing, we can access any. No.
You can access any. Just add your thoughts. It is not like that correct or wrong. Just add your pointers. Whatever you remember regarding with the Cosmos database.
Global distribution.
Perfect. Because of global distribution, we have another feature. You will get your data within 10 milliseconds. Because of global distribution, we have 99.999% of SLA. After that, we are calculating this scaling part in terms of RUs, right? And the last one is
Read
consistent.
and write locally from nearest region.
Perfect. So we can do that. We can enable the write operations from your nearest locations by using the global distribution. right? So these are the pointers we have for the Cosmos database, right? After that, how to create the Cosmos DB? First of all, you need to create account. After that, you need to create a database or multiple databases. Inside the database, you need to create multiple container or containers. And inside that container, you can create multiple item or items. You can create store procedures. You can create a user-defined function, pre-trigger and post-trigger, right? This part we have already done, how to do that, how to create the database, and also we talked about what is meant by the provision throughput, manual scaling, auto scaling. After that, what is meant by the serverless, right? Now let's talk about data factory. Data factory. Factory means what? In a factory, what we are doing? We are creating a product, right? From the raw data, we are creating a product. So for to do that, converting raw data to a actual product, we need to follow some steps, right? It means you need to divide that, you need to do multiple other things, manipulations, transformations, and this and that, right? So that is what the work for data factory. So in actual factory, whatever your raw data, it converted into the product. Product means what? Desired output, right? So same thing for the data factory, whatever you have a data as a raw data, it will be converted into your desired output. If it is in the CSV form, you want to convert it into the table form, that is okay. If it is in the different form and you need to manipulate it, you need to change it, you need to convert something on that, you need to add something, you need to multiply with that, you need to join some tables, or you need to join some rows, whatever you want, you can add it over here in the data factory, and then you will get your desired output. Now, whenever we are talking about the data factory, one, we required source, and another we required destination, right? We need source and we need destination. And in between that, we are using our pipeline. So pipeline is something kind of it is a bunch of tasks, right? It is a group of tasks that you want to perform. You want to do the manipulation, you want to do the transformation, you want to convert it, or any whatever you want. So I will give you the simple example. See, tables are strict in a nature, strict schema, right? So we have the SQL databases which is having that table structure. Table structure is the strict schema structure. Now let's say we have a CSV file. CSV file is nothing but kind of your Excel sheet. So if you want to convert .csv file into table form, then this is not been converted directly, right? This is not the direct option. You can't take that Excel sheet and then you cannot convert it as a table form. So in between that, there is a procedure. So from CSV file, you need to call out what will be my, what we can say, entities. What are my entities? Your column names. So here we have the column names like name, email ID, phone number, and so on. So here these are the column names. But for tables, it is kind of a property or entity for their table, right? So you need to convert that. Now to do that, here you need to create external table. Here you need to create external table, which is kind of a logical table. You need to convert it. You need to map that. You are saying that here column 1, it is property 1 or it is entity. So it is a part of entity, right? Column 2 will be the entity 2. Kind of you need to map it and then you can convert it into the, or you can just map it with the main table, right? So like that, this is the procedure. Now you need to do that. If you want to do that, there are multiple options. Either you can do that by using your store procedures. Either you can do that by using your directly you can create it from the portal itself, create the external table, map it, and then convert it into the tables. Or else, if you want to do it multiple times, these things, then you can go for the data factory. So suppose you want to trigger it, you want to trigger this pipelines, then you can, what you can do, whenever there is a CSV files present over here, whenever someone upload that, you can just start this pipeline by converting it into the external table and convert it into the main table, right? So like that, add it into the main table. So like that, if you want to do that multiple times, then you can go for the data factory pipeline. Simple structure, you can easily understand that by just going through it, right? And easy to integrate. So data factory is kind of a integration tool. What we have, data factory is a integration tool for us, right? So it is kind of a
It's
plumbing.
like a ETL model, ma'am.
Yes. So in data, we have a ETL and ELT model. So ETL is performed by this.
Yes.
ETL means what? Extract.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever data we have, you need to extract that data.
Mm.
After that, you need to transform it and
Load.
then load it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So those who are not from the data background, so suppose we are having so many things as a data.
Mm.
Let's say you purchase some product, Amazon application. You are purchasing so many things, right? You are having that kind of information. Now, suppose I wanted to just check the last month information or something like that, whatever. If you want to do the transformation, huge amount of data, you need to extract it. It means you need to just, what we can say, filter out or something like that, extract that data separately. Then you need to transform it in your desired output. If you want to just call out some particular columns or something like that, whatever you want, transform it, and then whatever the transformation is there, you need to load it into your destination, right? So this is the ETL concept in data. There is one more concept which is called as a ELT. ELT is for the future scope. So what we are doing, we are just collecting the information, extracting that information and load it to the destination and then transform. Means I want to do the future predictions. Then what I can do, I will do the analysis. So once you load that data, then I will work on that and I will collect some information. I will just figure it out. I will filter it out. I will transform it as per my understanding, right? So like that, there are two wordings, or I can say that there are two concepts. This is for the ongoing project and this is for the analytical views. Okay. So now, once we are done, we'll go for the data factory now. And also let me just, before we are starting with that, let me create a Synapse Analytics as well. So here, let's put it as Synapse day 6, Synapse day 6. I will use that central US only from the subscription only. So right now I don't have a data lake storage, right? So I will create a new. I'll put a name as Synapse Store, like that, whatever you want. Already taken. So let me just put like this. Okay, done. After that, file system. So inside that storage account, data lake storage, you need to create a file storage. So I'll put that file storage as my drive like that name, and then I can just put it like this. Okay, and assign myself only because I need the permissions to work with that. So this is me, and you will just assign it like a blob data contributor, as well as that Synapse is also having that blob data contributor role. Security, we need to add username, Azure user. I will choose. See here, this is why. This is for the SQL server. Now, what is mean by that SQL server and what is in the backend? So see here, you can just check that. Choose the authentication method for access to workspace resources such as SQL pools. I'm not going to create my SQL pool because it is a costlier service, but I will give you the option where is that or I will show you that where is that option. You need to enable it, you need to create it, and then you can utilize it. Okay. Networking, I don't want any other things, and then simple, I can go for review and create it. See, the value is 5 USD if I'm using that serverless. Serverless cost per TB. So whatever you are asking, whatever your query by using the serverless, this will be the costing for it. So I don't need that much. Once I done with this, I will just give you the heads up on that, how to use that, and that's it, right? So let's start with this one. Now, if you remember here last time, yesterday we have created one storage account, right? So this is my storage account. It is still there. And in that storage account, we also have that container, right? So see here, this is my test container. And over here, there is a product.csv file. So this is my product.csv file, right? Now, let me just go back and let's start with the data factory. So these are the data kind of a structures. They have their own studios. Okay. They have their own links, URLs. So you need to launch that data factory studio. Even for the Databricks, you need to launch that Databricks part. Even for the Synapse Analytics, also you need to launch Synapse. Okay. Same thing for Fabric and Purview as well. All right. So now let's go for the data factory. Now, by using the data factory, what you can do, you can ingest the data. It means you can copy data, you can convert the data, and you can store it into the destination. You can orchestrate the data. So see here, this is the data code free. So whatever your logic is there regarding with the data, you can just put it over there, add the steps, and then you can create the orchestrations. After that, here we also have a transform data. Transform data means whenever you have that source, if you want to make the changes on it, you can just use the transform data and then you can put it inside your what we can say destination. And this is kind of our SSIS, which is required for the external sources or required for the SAP workloads and all. So you can just use this option, right? Now, we are not going to do a deep dive on each and everything. I'm just give you the heads up on this ingest data. After that, here we have author where you can create a pipeline. So see here on the three dots, you can create a new pipeline. After that, here we have the data capture, change data capture. So it is kind of you can check what is going on, or you can create the resources from the data factory, right? So from here, you can create a resources. Maybe it is a data set or the data flow or the power queries or the pipelines and all. If you want to monitor what is going on inside the data factory, what kind of pipelines are right now running, behind the scene. Everything, data flow, debug, anything, whatever you want, you can just do that. And see here, pipeline, it means it needs the trigger, right? So if you want to trigger runs, you want to check that, then you can go for it. Here we have a manage. If you want to connect your data factory with other services, integration runtimes are also there. If you want to attach some runtimes for that, see, if it is a pipeline, in the backend, there must be a server. So if you are having this pipeline or data factory, by default, we have the backend server, which is called as a runtime. Integration runtime. See, it is a compute infrastructure to provide the following data integration capabilities across different network environments, right? To run our pipeline, we need the backend server, right? After that, here it is kind of a connectivity. See, now what is mean by Microsoft Purview and what is mean by Microsoft Fabric? That part I will just give you in some time. Okay, once we discuss about the Synapse Analytics, I will give you these options as well. What is mean by that? I'm not going to create the Purview. I can create that, but I will not give you so many things at a single point of time. Just understand what are the options we have in data. Okay. Then we have Learning Center. If you don't know anything about it, you can just go through the videos, templates, you can go through the tutorials or the quick start. Okay. Now let's go back to the home page and then let's go with the copy. So I can go for the built-in copy task and I will not do the schedule or the tumbling window. Tumbling window is kind of, there are multiple windows. So if something is occurred in between that 5 seconds, then it will trigger. So that is what the tumbling window. So it is waiting for the triggers. But right now we are not going for it. We will run it once only and then we'll go for the next. Now, first part, what you need to do, you need to add the source. At the end, you need to add the destination. And in between that, you need to configure the things. Okay. Now, what is your source? See here. How many source we have? Huge. See? It is not only you can add your internal or Azure resources. You can add anything. See here, no SQLs. You can also add AWS. See here, Google Storage. See here, Amazon S3. See here, Spark, HANA, Postgre, Oracle. There are many more, right? So these are the options from Azure. Again, we have the databases like this, RDS, RD2 and all. See here, RDS, Oracle is there. Redshift is also there. So there are multiple. After that, here, these are the databases. These are the file systems. Here we have the generic protocols. Here we have the NoSQL servers. Here we have the services and apps. So whatever you want, you can just attach it. Now I will choose source as my blob storage. And here you need to choose the new connection. If you are doing it for the first time, go for a new connection. If you have already done that part for the different pipelines, you can just simply click on this and then use the connection, right? Now I will go for the new connection and I'll use the naming convention as one only. That is okay for me. Now after that, here I need to select my subscription and what is my storage account name. So I will use this storage account name only, right? Now once I'm done with this, then I need to check the connectivity, test it. Check whether they all are having that proper connectivity or not. So, and this will be with the connection string. If you keep your connection string inside the key vault, then you need to choose the key vault and from the key vault, you can access it, right? Now, I will create this connectivity. So this is my storage account and this is my source. Now from the source, what will be your actual source? Is it a complete storage account? No. It has to be something inside that, right? So I will choose that product.csv file as my source, right? After that, these are the things. If you want to use that options or anything, you can just go for it. Otherwise, you can go for next. Simple copy. Here we have the file format. So CSV files are having that column delimiters and all values. So they are changes with this line feed. So next line, they need to go for the next line. How they will categorize that? /n, right? And the first row is a header file. Header means which is having the actual column names. So that will be kind of a what we can say mapping data, right? And I will go for this option as well. See here, while transforming, while copy the data, do you want to zip that file or do you want to compress that file by using this? If you want, you can do that and then go for next. I'm not doing anything for this. Now, as a destination also, I will choose my blob storage only. Now, yesterday someone has asked, so whenever we are doing the, let's say, suppose you want to copy the data from your storage account table to your SQL database, then this is the option. So once I have my storage account blob storage, which is the CSV file, if I want to put it into my SQL database, I can do that, right? But now I will only do the copy. And from here, this is the connection. I already have the connection, so I will use the same one. Now folder path. So what I can do, so for folder path, here there is only one container. We don't have another container, right? So I will choose this container only, test container, which is already having the product.csv file. And here I will put the file name. So what I can do, same file, I will copy in a same folder, same container, but with a different naming convention. So I will say that Chetna as a file name. Okay. So this will be my file name. Copy behavior, what you want, flatten the hierarchy, merge files or the preserve hierarchy, whatever you want, you can just choose that. And then you can go for next, right? Now, this destination file format, what you want. So if you want the same kind of structure for that as well, you can use that. And then you can go for next. If you want to change the naming convention for the task name, you can go for it. And then you can go for next. And this is the one. So here you will get all the details before you are going for the next and then start it, right? So once you are done, you will get that file inside the same container, right? So let's wait for a while. If you want to monitor it from here as well, you can just do that. So see here, there is a monitor option. So let me just go for it. It is not working. So let's start with this. See here. Now what you can do, you can also check the logs. See here, this part is done. Now I can finish it or I can go for the monitor. So I'll go for this option, monitor. See here, this was my data. So this is my pipeline. And here you will get all the details. Done. So how to create the pipelines and all these things are there in your DP 900 if you want to do more on that, hands-on on that, okay? So I will not spend too much time on it right now. So let me just go back to my Azure portal and let me go for my storage account. So this is my storage account and let's go for the container, test container, and see here. Got it. So it's simple, as simple as that. So this part is done, how to work with the data factory. So data factory is the integration tool where you can transform your data, where you can do manipulations with your data and you can just put it into the destination, right? Now, another thing we have is a data bricks. Now, Databricks is a high performance Spark-based analytics platform. Now, whenever I'm saying about the Databricks, it is mostly useful for machine learning, big data kind of things, right? So here in the backend, there is a compute. In the backend, there is a compute engine. Now, whenever I'm talking about the big data things or the machine learning kind of things and all, then we need to understand one thing. In the backend, we should have the parallelism, right? If you are working for your all kind of or big kind of information, then you can't go in a sequential manner. You have to divide your workload and you need to work parallelly with the multiple nodes, right? Now the structure of the Databricks is it is working on the Apache Spark pools, right? Now in the Databricks, there is a cluster. So you need to define your cluster. So this will be your cluster. Cluster is nothing but it is a group of nodes. So here nodes, we have a multiple nodes. Whatever you want, you can just create that many nodes over there. Node is nothing but a server. Or I can say that node, right? Node is nothing but a server. Now on that server, it will work on the computations, right? And then it will give you the output. So if you have a huge amount of information, then also within some seconds itself, you will get the proper information. So the computation it is kind of a high performance computes because of the multiple nodes working in the parallel in the backend, right? Another advantage of Databricks is if you are good with SQL, you can write your query with SQL. If you are good with Python, you can write your query with Python. If you are good with PySpark, you can write your query with PySpark. So whatever you want, you can just run it. So here there is one, what we can say, there is one word, magic. Yes, magic code, right? There is one thing which is called as a magic code. So once you put that percentage and you can say that, okay, I wanted to go with R language. I want to go with PySpark. I wanted to go with, let's say Python. I want to go with different language. You can just use that. So this is kind of magic command, right? Now, to work with this Databricks, first of all, these are the things we have. Again, I will say that this is also having the connectivity integration options with our CI/CD platforms. Okay. So here in the backend, you can run your in the backend again. It will like that job runs, data ingestions are there. So right that we are having all these things. So first of all, what we need, so on Spark, we need to run a notebook. We need to create notebooks. That notebooks are running on the clusters, right? So let me go for dashboard query and all. Yes, see here, here we have the cluster. Now, first of all, what you need to do, you need to create a cluster. So let's say, so I will put that as my cluster, right? Then we have that if you want to work with the machine learning, then it will increase the performance. Now here you need to choose your runtime. So see here, there are multiple options we have, scaling options. So see, Scala options are there. There are size. So I can say that this is kind of a size. So you need to choose your size. I will go with the basic one for the Databricks runtime. And over here, you need to choose nodes or the worker size. So this is the size for your backend server. So what kind of size you want? So if you want 16 GB and 4 cores, you can go for it. Minimum, let's say I will put it as a minimum 1. because see here, my account may not have enough CPU cores for that, right? So requested 36, estimated available is 0. So maybe I need to create my Databricks in a different region. Then and then only I can do that, because right now there are multiple things are working for inside the central US itself, right? So you can change the region while you are creating the Databricks. So that is the one. Once you create the Databricks, you can't. Once you create any resource, you can't change the region for it. So you can just delete that Databricks and then again create it in the different region. Now, let me just give you the little bit heads up on that. So first of all, what you need to do, you need to create your cluster. Cluster, inside that cluster, you need to add your worker nodes. So this is your virtual machine in the backend, which is running whenever you are calling them, right? Whenever you want to run anything, it will run it on this virtual machine or on the servers. Now, these are the options. Once you are done with this, now you can go for the notebook.
Ma'am, what is cluster?
Cluster is a group of servers. See, what I said here, cluster is nothing but it is a grouping of the nodes. It is a group of nodes. Nodes are nothing but server. Right? Now, see, understand the thing. We discussed these things yesterday as well. Data storage is just a storage. You can't do anything with that, right? If you want to do manipulations, computations, transformations, or anything, you need a different resource for that or different service for that. And to run that things, you need a backend server. So if you remember here in the data factory as well, we talk about the runtime. Runtime is nothing but a backend server. Are you getting that point? In the backend, we have to
Yeah.
use the server, right?
Yes.
So here also for the data bricks, it is a high computation because it is mostly used for the machine learning and the what we can say wherever there is a big data requirement, that time we are using that data bricks. So that's why to run that in the backend, only one server is not sufficient. So that's why we need pool of servers. So that pool of servers are nothing but a worker nodes. And once we group them together, this is called as a cluster. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, whenever there is a wording of cluster, in AKS also there is a cluster. So cluster is nothing but group of servers. That's it. Group of nodes. Nodes are nothing but a servers only, right? So once we have this, once you are ready with this, here you need to add your code. So now to add this code, here you need to attach your cluster first. Without a cluster, you can't run your notebook. So notebook means whatever you want, your scripts and everything. If you want to manipulate your data, if you want to convert that data, if you want to join that something like that, whatever you want, you can just write it over here. And see here, there are multiple options. Right now, there is a Python. But if you can go for this one, see here, you can go for the Markdown language. You can go for SQL, Scala, R, or else you can use that percentage, and then though you are selecting the SQL from here. Suppose for example, you are selecting the Python, but from here you are putting that percentage R and you are writing that code in R language. Okay, fine. It will take it, right? So from here you need to write it down and then from here you need to just run that cell, right? And you will get that output. Now, right now we are not able to create anything from here. So what I can do, let me just go back now to my Synapse Analytics. So let me close this window and then let's go for the Synapse Analytics. So this is my Synapse Studio. So open that. As I said, every data service are having their own studios, right? So this is my Synapse Studio. Now, what you understood from here, if I wanted to work with SQL database, I need to go for SQL DB or I need to go for SQL pools, right? SQL pools are there. So this is nothing but a data warehouse. So this is SQL pool is nothing but a data warehouse. Okay, remember that, because in Synapse Analytics, in Fabrics and all, somewhere you will get the wording of data warehousing. So don't confuse in between. Data warehousing is called as SQL pool nowadays, right? So if you want to work with the SQL database and the SQL pools with the SQL queries and all, you need to choose these two services separate. If you want to work with the Databricks, you need to create a Databricks, right? If you want to work with the LLMs or the let's say machine learning or the big data things, you need to go for the Databricks, right? But if you want to do the integrations kind of your data factory, then you need to go for a data factory, right? Now, Synapse Analytics combines all of them. Azure Synapse Analytics. Synapse Analytics combines all three in a one platform and you can freely work with that. Now, how? So if I can go for my Synapse Analytics, so this is the page. If you remember data factory, you can see those kind of structures, right? Ingest the data. So from here, I can create directly the data factory kind of a pipeline. Same thing. I can go for pipeline from here. Even Synapse Analytics give me the option to connect with Power BI's visualizations. See here, Power BI capabilities. So there is a connectivity. I'm saying that there is an integration of Azure Synapse Analytics with Power BI as well. So you can connect Power BI and you can visualize your structure or data like this, right? Now, it means that in Synapse, I can create pipeline like a data factory, right? So I don't need to create a separate data factory. I can go for data. See here, here we have the workspace and here we have the linked. Linked means if you want to link your source. So right now, if you remember, we have added our link sources, which is a data lake storage, right? If I can go for this data lake storage, see here, this is my linked services, Synapse, right? And see here, now I can see here my drives. If you remember, when I created that Synapse Analytics, that time only we have created this data lake storage as well as my drive. So this is the space where you can store your data and this will be act as a source for you. It is not like that these two only are the options for you. You can also click on this and you can add the data lake database. Lake database is nothing but a data lake and the database combo, right? So if you want to, if you remember, we discussed about that. If we want to convert CSV file into table format like a database, then we need to create external tables. That kind of a flow is present in that lake database. So data lake is kind of an unstructured format. Database is kind of a structured format. So this is the one. See here, external data. If you want to connect your information with the external data, it is not from the Azure data lake. It is from the external data out of the Azure. You can go for it as well, right? Sorry. Now here we can upload one file. So let's upload the file from downloads and I will choose this product.cs file, right? CSV file, and then upload it. Done. So now this is my product.csv file, which is having a multiple things. Now, what to do with this? See here, there are multiple other options as well. I can create a folder, I can download, upload. See here, new notebook. I can create a new notebook from here as well. Now from here, I can directly go for the SQL queries. See, this is my data. If I want to query by using the SQL language, then I need to upload this kind of information in my SQL database, right? So this is the separate resource. If I want to work with the product.csv file by using a notebooks, which is nothing but a Databricks, then I need to create a separate Databricks service. But over here, you don't need to worry about it. You just have your data, which is a product.csv file, as a source, and then you can directly start from new SQL query where you don't have the SQL database in your account. You can directly go for notebooks. It will not require separate Databricks service. You just need to enable the Spark pools, and that's it. Done. So either you can start it from here, right? Either you can start it from here, or else you can just click on this, right click, and here you can directly go for preview. So first of all, just check what is inside that. So see here, this is kind of a product details, right? We have all season, something like that, smart one class, green chill is there, whatever. Dry nose oil is there, so pure coconut oil, something like that, right? So this is kind of a data. Now if I want to do something kind of a SQL script, or I wanted to create from here itself, if I told you, right, you can do it from the portal itself. So if you want to create a external table from it, you can do that. See here, directly you can create a notebook from here. See here, so you can just load it to the data frame. Now to work with the data bricks, or to work with data, what we can say, notebooks. So here the information is that what we have, we are running clusters. Inside that cluster, your data will be running on the multiple servers for the Databricks. So this is what? This is the computation. But whatever source we have, source is present in data lake. So to work with that, Databricks needs to copy that data into their own format, which is called as a data frame. What is mean by that? Suppose, for example, someone is asking you to do something with the data. Okay, so what you can do, you will not change anything onto the source data. Okay, what you can do, you can copy that data to your local environment, and then you will work with that, right? So same thing happened with Databricks. Databricks will copy the data into the data frame of Databricks and then start working on it, manipulations and all these things. So source will be there. We will not do anything with that. We will not going to change the source. We are just taking that source and then we are doing the manipulation. And then once we are done with that, if you want to store somewhere in the destination, then you can do that. Okay. So same thing happened over here as well. So first of all, we need to load the data into the data frame, and then you can start working with that. So for this, let's start with the first one. So see here, select top 100 rows. I wanted to query top 100 rows. So see here, this is the connectivity. You don't need to do anything from here, right? If you want to do that, you can do, right? You can write your own queries and everything. But here, understand, use the master database, right? Here, we need to understand this. In that Synapse Analytics, we have three things to run it. One is there, which is a data factory, that is a separate part where you can create a pipeline. But to run a query, either you can use the serverless, which is built in. Serverless means to run this SQL query, Synapse Analytics use their own servers. Microsoft will take care of it. It is kind of a serverless. If to run this query, if you want to use your SQL pools, then you need to go for the manage pools. You need to create your SQL pool first of all, and then you can attach it over here. So right now, why I'm doing that, I will not go for it. But sometimes whenever you want to work with your data warehousing or the big data kind of things, huge databases, that time you need that SQL pools. Okay. Now, if I want to run this, I can run it. So let's wait for a while. See here, this is the one. Now, what they understood. So this is the property one, property two kind of things. So these are my entities inside this, right? So C2, C3, C4, because you haven't given that understanding. Okay. So for example, if this is my Excel sheet, you need to tell them that product ID is nothing but the primary key. Product name is one of the property. This ID is one of the property. Then it will become like this. This will go over here and then this will be act as your data. So right now, as you have not given anything for it, so it will consider as this everything is part of your data. And these are the naming convention for your column 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, right? So you need to add these things in your query. You need to convert it and then you can check it, right? So right now I'm not doing that. I just don't want to work with the data part too much, right? I just need to give you the understanding. That's it. So this is how we can work with the SQL queries. Now let me just go back and again you can just right click and then you can go for the load data frame, right? So see here, I can do the same thing by using my Spark pools as well. See here, first of all, what they are saying, you need to create a Spark pool first. See here we need to go for the Spark pool. See here, manage pools. And from here, you need to create one pool like that. So if you remember, we have done this kind of structure. We saw this kind of structure in our Databricks cluster, right? Same thing, you need to create it from here. I don't know whether I have that kind of course available in my region, but let's try it. Spark 1, right? It is a memory optimized medium. I'll go for 4 core because still, and nodes 2 or let's say 3. Okay. And then let's review and create. Let's create it and let's see. See, to run that query, we need the backend server. If you are using serverless SQL, then Microsoft will take care of it. If you are going for the notebook, you need to create one server in the backend, right? Same thing for the SQL pool. See this? This is the SQL pool where you will get that inside the manage option or inside this one, right? Now over here, we have already a serverless. See here, the deployment is done. We have already a serverless. If you want to add the SQL pool, you need to create a dedicated SQL pool. And see here, per hour charge, $15. I don't want to spend that much of money, right now, because for the testing purpose only. So we'll keep it as it is. Now let me go back to my data part and see here, this is my PySpark. Now over here, I will choose my Spark one and then hit on run. That's it, right? So for the first time, whatever the computation is there in the backend, we need to start that compute server, and then we need to load that data, whatever your CSV file is there. We need to load that data. See here, read and load the data which is present in the product.csv file into data frame, DF, right? And then display data frame, and limit is 10. Means first 10 rows only you need to show. That's it. Simple one. Okay. So let's wait for a while and then it will give us the output. So what is the best part of the Azure Synapse Analytics? It is kind of a 3-in-1. It means from here itself, I can create a data factory pipelines. I can work with the data bricks inbuilt, as well as I can work with SQL pools, right? So like that, we have all these things in a one. It means it is covering near about all data services in a one structure itself. Okay. Is this clear? What is the Synapse Analytics? Yes. Yes. No.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Perfect. Now, why? Why we need to use, if we have already a database separate, data factory separate, SQL pool separate, then why we are using it over here? So the answer is simple. You will get each and everything in one go itself. You don't need to create a separate resource, because at the end of the day, you need to pay for 3 different resources, right? Instead of that, this is the simplest option, and you can see that structure is also simple. You can easily understand that, easy to go, easy to work, right? So that's why Synapse Analytics is the best suitable version for the data. Now you can say that, okay, if we are getting all of these in a one go itself, then why we need to create a data break separate, data factory uh, separate thing? So the answer is simple. If you just want to work with ETL models, just want to do the transformations or just copy the data like that things, then why we are creating the Synapse Analytics? If you just want to work with the data factory pipelines, you can create a data factory. If you just want to work with the Databricks, you can go for the Databricks, right? But in some of the scenario where you need to work with all of these services together, then you can go for the Synapse Analytics. Now, the another thing here, we need to add the data lake extra service. To work with my Synapse Analytics, I need to add the source from the data lake, right? So that's why the next part, and one more thing, you are working with these 3 services together in a Synapse Analytics. But as a data engineer, whoever is part of data, you need to also think about who is accessing what. So if 3 services are there, it means it's a huge workload, right? And so many users are accessing it. So if so many users are accessing it, someone is having the access on the Databricks, Data Factory, or something like that, SQL pools and all. So how I can recognize that who is having what kind of access and who is accessing it? So if I am providing the access on the level of Synapse Analytics, then are they accessing, can they access Databricks, Data Factory, and SQL pool inside that? And how? It is kind of a governance. How I can check that who is accessing what? So to check that, there is another service with Synapse Analytics is called as Microsoft Purview. So Microsoft Purview is a governance service. So all kind of a data services, if you want to check or if you want to apply some policies, if you want to check the access, who is accessing what, then there is a service which is called as a Microsoft Purview. Okay. Now, okay, we have the Synapse Analytics, which is combination of three services. We have the Purview. I can just add the Microsoft Purview to check that governance and all. But what if I want each and everything? Because for the Synapse Analytics, I also need the data lake service for my source purpose. So if you want to combine all these things together, we have Microsoft Fabric. If you have a Microsoft Fabric, it is all in one. So if you remember, I haven't used that word for Synapse Analytic. I told you that this is 3 in 1. But if I'm talking about the Microsoft Fabric, it is all in one. It means you don't need an extra storage data lake. They already have one lake, their own storage where you can put your complete data. You can go for the purview. It means you can easily work with your policies, who can access what. You can easily add the access control on it. You can work with SQL pools, Databricks, Data Factory, whatever you want, you can just do that. In Synapse Analytics, we have an integration with Power BI, right? But in Fabrics, we already have a Power BI in it. So this is all in one tool. So right now, if you are searching for the data engineer certifications from Microsoft, no certifications will give you the Synapse Analytics, this and that separate. Both the certifications in Azure are only on Microsoft Fabrics. So it is all in one. You can easily work with that. You can easily do whatever you want. All the features are present inside a one go itself, right? So this is what the Microsoft Fabric. So for that, if you want to learn as a data engineer, go for DP 700 or DP 600. Okay, so these are the two certifications for you. Is this clear? This is for the data part. And yes, the next part is there, which is the stream analytics. So let me just quickly go for it. We have stream analytics, Azure stream analytics. I guess this is the one. Let me check here. See here, you can see that. So if you want to work with the Spark pools, notebooks. So these are called as a notebooks where you can write your script and you will get the output. You can just also get the output in the form of charts. See here, like this. Even in the SQL, see here, there is a chart. So like that, if you want to work with data, you can just go through this one, right? So let me just close this Synapse Analytics. Now, this is my stream analytics. So now, let's do one thing. Let's not create the stream analytics. I will give you just the heads up of it. So stream analytics is also a part of near about data and AI. So stream analytics is a combo of AI and data. So these are the terms goes in hand. Okay, just a minute. All right, now here what happened, let's say you have a huge amount of data. So this is kind of a event hub. So let's talk about the event hub as well. There is called as an event hub, one service. So if you want to work with the event driven solutions, then there is an event hub and we also have an event grid. Now, what is mean by these two terms? Event grid is a simple one. If you want the triggering mechanism, like your function app, but function app, you can write your logic. You can manipulate the data. You can do whatever you want. Event grid is a simple one, just the connectivity, plug and play. Okay. So in that event grid, so suppose for example, when you purchase the order, you will get the email notification or you will get that message notification that thank you for purchasing this order is event grid. Whenever your parcel is going through that one location to another location, you will get the notification on your message that your parcel reaches to this location and now it is going for the another location. So whatever the tracking of your parcels or anything orders is part of your event grid. So whenever it will get a trigger, it will give you the output, right? Now, there is another option which is called as event hubs. Event hub is a big data streaming platform. It is big data streaming platform. Now, whenever I am saying that big data streaming platform means what? So, it is having only the requirement of collecting data. Collecting of data means what? Let's say it is having the Uber or Ola, right? Uber, Ola. Let's say you are the one who wants to start that Uber, Ola services. Those are the what we can say traveling services, right? Now, whenever we are going for the first time, so we are choosing some locations. Let's say I'm the owner of Ola and I wanted to introduce this service as an application to this location. For example, I'm taking 3 locations at the primary stage. Let's say Mumbai location, then Delhi, and let's say I'm taking that NCR, right? So these 3 locations, first of all, I wanted to start with 50-50 cabs. Right? Now, I need to call that information or I wanted to collect that information. How many users has requested for the cab? How many users getting served with the cabs? How many users cancelled that cabs or put any issues or anything like that? So I need to just collect the information, right? Maybe from here, I'm just collecting the information, 1,000 details per month. Here, I'm getting some 150 details only per month. Here, I'm getting 2,000 details per month. So like that, this is kind of a information. Information which includes what happened, when happened, what is the location, destination, source, each and every details on a one go itself, right? So this informations why we required for the analysis purpose. We required these data for the analysis purpose because after a 1 month, I need to understand how many users are getting served with that, whether that 50 cabs are okay or I need to increase it, whether in Delhi 50 cabs are okay or I need to decrease it. To take the decision making, I need to analyze the data. And to analyze the data, first of all, I need to capture the data, right? To capture the data, event hubs are working behind the scene with the protocols, right? Because the data are not from the single location, they are moving. So it is collecting the information from the applications, tracking the devices, each and everything. It might happen there are multiple sensors, you are collecting the information from sensors and all. So Event Hub is big data streaming platform. So whatever your continuous data is there, it is collecting that information in a proper manner without fail, right? For the future analysis. So that is what the Event Hub concept, right? Now how it will work with the stream analytics. So stream analytics after Event Hub, we are putting that stream analytics over here. Now, why? Because whatever data you are collecting, let's say I wanted to just filter out how many failed rides are there, right? I wanted to write a logic in that. And then I need to collect the information in some storage or data lake. I wanted to store somewhere, maybe in the data lake, or I wanted to store somewhere, whatever. So to write a logic, we have Azure Stream Analytics here, right? Who will work with the ongoing data, collect that data, filter out that data, and then it will give you the output. Is this clear what is mean by the stream analytics? Yes? Is this clear, team?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is a simple one. Don't think too much about that, right? Because we are not using directly in our 305, right? But we need to understand where we can use that stream analytics. You can also do the same thing by using your pipelines and all, but they are not having the direct connectivity with the event hubs. So if it is a ongoing or big data because we are collecting huge amount of information per second. So if that kind of a data is there, then we also need the analytics for that, separate analytics. So it is part of your AI and some small kind of understanding in data part. Okay. So earlier it was a part of DP203, but now it is retired, and stream analytics is not a part of any data certification, but you will get it in AI certifications. Okay. But you should understand where to use, how to use. Okay. So this part is done. So we are done with the data part completely. So let me go for this one. Yes. We discuss about Synapse, we discuss about Databricks, Data Lake, Data Factory, Stream Analytics, and each and everything. Now, on to that, there are case studies for the SQL and Cosmos. There is a case study for your data integration parts as well. So, lab number 4 case study and lab number 5 case study you need to complete. Okay. All right. So, this is 10:34. So, shall we start the next part? Or do you want to take a break before we are jumping for the another part? Mm-hmm. Yes, team. Do you want a break or can we go for the next part?
Break.
Okay, all right. So let's take a quick break. And once we are back from the break, what we can do, we'll start for the subscription part. What is mean by policies and this and that, everything will start. And next weekend, we'll only focus on our what we can say in networking. Okay, because networking is a huge part, so we need to spend proper amount of time for it. Okay. So today what we are going to do, we are going to touch on the subscription. You already know about the subscription, but let's discuss about how what is mean by the role based access control, what is mean by policy initiatives in that and everything. Okay. So let's go for it and let's take a break. How much time you need for the break? Okay. Now, today we are going to talk about the subscription part as well as part of our administration. See, authentication and authorization always go hand in hand. Let me just go for my whiteboard. Can you able to see my screen, team? Let me stop my sharing and let me share it again. Can you able to see the screen? Administer governance and compliance.
Yeah,
Okay,
ma'am.
great. Okay, now let me do one thing. First of all, whatever resources we have created, let me delete that resources. See here, Synapse Analytics, it has created a separate one. So only storage account, I will keep that. And other than that, I will delete all. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about what is mean by authentication and authorization. So what do you think? What is mean by authentication and authorization if I am talking about authentication and authorization? Yes. What do you think about the authentication? What is mean?
Authentication means like kind of handshaking, like one server to another server. We are giving the permission kind of tokenization kind of thing.
Mhm. So if you need that permission or tokenizations or anything, then first of all, what you need? So suppose you want to use Facebook account.
Mm.
So how you will get the access on the Facebook account?
First, we need to create account and
Perfect. You need to create an account, right? So
yeah,
for that, what you need? You need the identity,
yes,
right? So authentication means what? It's a identity.
yeah,
So whatever your username and passwords are there, whatever it is your identity.
yeah,
Now, only identity, having the identity will not be sufficient. You also need the authorization. It means your permissions.
yes,
That identity is connected to set of permissions. So
yes,
for that, we need access, right? So that
mm,
is what the authorization. So
mm,
whenever your authentication is done, it means it is checking whether you have a access permissions or not. If yes, then and then only it will give you the access, right? So it will create the tokens and everything. So that is why the authentication and authorization always go hand in hand. Without identity, you can't give the access, and without access you can't access anything with the identity, right? So for example, in your organization we are creating the employee username and password, but only creating the username and password, will that sufficient? No, you should have the access as well, limited access, which is also called as a list privileged access, right? And once you have that access, then and then only you can access those many services. Even whenever you are entering into that office, you should have the permission, right? So there is one card that you need to scan. So this is kind of a access level. So if you are the part of that organization, then and then only they will provide you. With that also, there is a restricted access. You can't enter in each and every room, right? So there is something like that privileged access. So you need to have the authorization. Now, in Azure portal as well, you can create identity or authentication by using Microsoft Entra ID, right? And you will give the permissions by using RBAC role. Again, two things are there. One is on the level of resource, which is a RBAC role, and on the level of admin, which is Entra ID roles. Right? So if you need the permission on the resource level, Azure portal resources level, then there is a RBAC role. And if you want the permission on the admin level, then this is a Entra ID role. So for example, HR. Your organization is having HR department, right? That HR department don't need the permission on the resources. Just a minute, huh? Okay. So in your Azure portal, you can create the identity. When I'm saying that you can create an identity means what? No one easily create the identity. So for that purpose also you need the access. So in your organization as well, HR department or whoever is the admin person is having the access to create an identity. You are the user. You are not the admin person, right? So who can create the identity, who can connect to the external sources or anything else is a part of Entra ID roles. And that HR don't need the access on the level of resources. They just need the access on the level of administration, right? That's it. And as an employee of that company, you need to work with the RBAC rules. Okay, on the resource level you need the permissions. Sometimes what happen, you need the extra permission to connect with the external sources. So again the same thing, you need the Entra ID roles. So let's discuss about that things, how we can create the identities, how we can add the RBAC roles and the Entra ID permissions. So for that purpose, first of all, let's get inside our Azure portal. So this is my account, right? So by using that account, we are having, so you can see that this is my default directory. So this is what? This is my default directory. Now over here, I can search for Entra ID. So see here, earlier the name was Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, but now they have made the changes in naming convention, which is a Microsoft Entra ID. So in some of the learning path or somewhere, you will get the wording as well, Active Directory, right? So don't confuse with that. Those are the same thing. Now over here, you can see that this is my default directory. Now this is my tenant, right? Account which is having my tenant, and my tenant name is default directory. My tenant ID is unique, right? And this is my default domain name. So Microsoft will create the domain name by default. Now how they will create the domain name? This belongs to my email ID. So my email ID is client.dev88@outlook.com, right? So they are just removing that, what we can say, that special characters, dot, at the rate and all. So now my tenant primary domain name becomes client dev 88 Outlook. Dot on Microsoft.com is compulsory for them. So now if I'm creating the users, for example, I'm creating user for Bharat, then Bharat at the rate client dev 88 Outlook on Microsoft.com. So like we have our TCS.com, IBM.com, so like that. So this is my Entra ID primary domain name. Now you might have the question like that, but we don't have these kind of things. We are having the TCS.com or Infosys.com like that. Then how we will get that? So here your complete tenant is connected to the domain name. Now where you can add that domain name? So see here. Here we have the domain name. So whenever we are purchasing the domain name means what? Your TCS.com, your IBM.com, or your Infosys.com, or anything. Whatever domain you have, first of all, you need to purchase it. You need to take a ownership of it, and then you can attach it over here. So then it will become, instead of the on Microsoft.com and all these things, it will become this domain name, Accenture.com and so on. Now let's say this is my one tenant. Suppose you want to create a multiple tenants. You can create that, right? So see here, this completely belongs to this default directory. Now, whenever I'm saying that this belongs to means your subscription. Your subscription belongs to this default directory. If you are creating a new tenant, so see here, there is one option of the manage tenant. So if you are creating a new tenant, right now we are into the default directory. If you want, you can create a new tenant. Now, what do you want? Do you want to create a Microsoft Entra external ID? So you want to create your Azure tenant with the external identities? Then you can go for Entra ID, right? Entra external ID. If you are using that business to customer, so you are creating it for the customer solutions, you are creating the applications and customers will access it, then you can go for the Azure AD B2C. So see here, there is a naming convention Azure AD. Same thing. If you want to check how we can choose that which tenant I will choose, then you can go for this. So suppose I'm choosing that Azure AD B2C, and then I can go for the next configurations. Now, what is your region? What is your initial domain? And what is your organization name and subscription? So select your Azure subscription. If you want to select that Azure subscription belongs to this, you can do that, right? Now, so this is my B2C. I will not going to create any tenant, but how you can create a tenant by using this manage tenants. Okay. Now, once you create a tenant, you will have a separate, what I can say, environment. So this is a separate environment so that you can work with your multiple subscriptions, multiple resource group and multiple resources separately, right? So this is my user option. Now, inside my tenant, this is my admin part. So inside my tenant, what I can do, I can create security principles, right? I can create security principles. Now, what I can do, I can create user, I can create groups, I can create service principles, right? Or I can create managed identities. Now, how to do that? So user means what? Either you can create a user or you can invite user, right? You can create a user or you can invite the user. Now, whenever I am saying that create a user or invite a user means what? If you are from the external side, if you have your own email IDs, or maybe it is kind of a third party. So TCS is also working with the third party vendors, right? So they are creating the project for TCS. So for that purpose, they need the access in our organization. So to do that, they will invite that user. Instead of creating the username and password for them, they will invite the user with their own email IDs and then give the permissions, right? So like that, we can invite the user by using the email IDs, or else if you are a part of that organization, we'll create a username and password for you. Okay. Now how to do that? So in my directory, here we have the user option. Now let's say you want to create one by one user. See here, there are two options. One is create a new user, another one create a or invite an external user. If I'm choosing the invite external user, I can put the email ID over here and then I can go for the display name. I can add the message and I will say that please join my account, right? And then you can add the assignment. If you want to give the permission on the admin role, you can give the permission according to that. Now let's say let's create a user, normal user. If I want to create a user, let's take the principal as Bharat, right? Let's create a user for Bharat. Now, this is a male nickname that is okay for me. Display name, I can say that Bharat, and I will choose that new skills. Okay, so this is my display name, and this will be my user principal name. So what I need to do, I need to copy that user principal name, and let's put it over here in the chat box. Let me just paste it. Okay, after that password, do you want to create your own password or you want to make it as an auto generated password? So you can see that this is an auto generated password. So what you need to do, you need to copy that and you need to paste it over here somewhere with you, right? So once I'm done with this, so I need to enable this account. Once I enable this account, suppose this is the employee of my organization. So I can add all the details. What is the first name? What is the last name? User type, whether it is a member or a guest. I will add the authorization information as well if I need to do it by using some certificates, more security version. Job title, what is the job title? Whether it is a CSE or something like that, SME or whatever, developer. Company name, department, employee ID, employee type, employee hire date, office location is what? Add a manager. If you know to whom he is reporting, I can add that. I can also add the street address, each and every details here, right? So these are not mandatory field. So if it is for your organization, you can add each and everything. Now over here we have the assignments. Now for the assignments, either you can add that person in that group or you can add a role. So right now we'll not do anything else, and then let's simple review and create. Right?
Ma'am,
There is question.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
If we already have an on-premises Active Directory, and what if we wanted to synchronize it with the Azure Entra ID or Azure Active Directory?
Okay, perfect question. So to do that, what you need to do, first of all, you need someone who will do the middle part, right? So for that, you need to create a virtual machine. If you remember, we have created one virtual machine. In that there are multiple features. On that feature, let me just draw it over here. What is the procedure? So first of all, what you need to do, you need your virtual machine, or I can say that on your on premises. So your on premises, which is already having the username and passwords. After that, you need to add a feature, or you can install Azure AD role or AD Connect. So there is one software that you need to install, which is Azure AD Connect tool. So once you add that tool, you need to connect with your Azure portal and then synchronize your all username and passwords with that, right? So for that, what you need that Azure AD Connect tool. So that is for sure, right? Once you have that, you can just go for it. You can synchronize, you can completely transfer, or I can say that migrate your all users over here into your Azure portal. And also there is a synchronization. So the synchronization will work after every 30 minutes. Now what is mean by that synchronization? Let's say someone has changed the password from here. So that password has to be connected over here as well, same password. So after every 30 minutes, it will check whether there is anything change or someone has added a new user over here. So it will synchronize it together. Is this clear?
Will it be synchronized automatically?
Yes, after every 30 minutes, it will be synchronized automatically.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. There is a lab somewhere in one of the certification. I will give you that as well. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Great. So after that, let's go back to our portal. Now, this
You
is
you
my
you mentioned, ma'am. You mentioned the principles. It's kind of rule based kind of thing. Whenever we are creating, immediately we will get the what kind of permissions under those permissions and location allowance. Like these are under principles.
you will get all kind of locations. See, we
Means
are
means for example in Pune, like TCS campus, different campus are there, and ODs are there. So one for example, Pune Karadi TCS campus, the people are not allowing access in the Injivadi. So kind of those kind of there's a kind of principles we are while we creating the access, we need to give a particular location and particular ODC first floor, second floor kind of access we are giving, right?
mm-hmm. Okay,
Those
okay, okay.
those
So
kind of under
those no,
principles.
no, 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 no. It
Uh,
is only related to the Azure resources.
okay.
It is not related to the infra, so
Okay.
office structure and all. It is related to your only Azure resources.
Okay. No, no, means like kind of read and write access while using the account. No, for example, we are creating one user, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in the account. So
Yes.
when I giving the creating the rule base, so I need to give right admin permission or read only, write only permission, right?
Yes.
So
Yes. So now we are going to do that. Okay.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So now, just now, what we have done, we have created the authentication. I told you about that. Authentication and authorization goes hand in hand, right? So
Yes.
right now, just created the authentication. It is of no use.
Mm.
Creating the authentication only is not use.
Yes.
So what we need to do, first of all, let's connect with this. So let me just copy that things and let's try to go for Azure portal again and sign in with different user. So I will choose this one and then go for next. Now here it is asking me for the password. Password I copied somewhere. Copy that and then paste it here. Okay. And then sign in. Now, once I sign in, let me just put it again, right? After that, here, the new password, I will choose, mm, let's say, key. All right. And then hit on sign in. All right. Next. Okay, so for that, first of all, you need to authenticate with the Microsoft Authenticator. That is the compulsion. Now, Microsoft is using that Microsoft Authenticator for your login purpose. Now, what you need to do on your mobile phone, there is a Microsoft Authenticator in your apps. You need to download that and then you need to go for next. Now, what you need to do to add this in your authenticator, first of all, open your authenticator application in your mobile phone. And then there is a plus sign on top of that. You can just choose your personal account. If it is your work and school account, you can choose that. Or if you want to just test it out, then you can just go for the personal account, add this, allow your authenticator to scan the QR code. And once you are done with this, go for it and then go for next. Once you add that, then the next part. It will ask you for entering that number and then add it and then done. See here, parallelly I am doing that on my mobile phone, right? So like that you need to perform. Now, once we are done, you can see that. So this is my account, but I don't have any other permissions. I can't create a resources. See here, suppose I want to create a resource. I can't create that. Why? Because there is no authorization. So what I need to do, if I can go over here in my subscription, I don't have any subscription. If I want to work from here, I need to create a new subscription for that, right? By my own. But I need to work for my organization. So my organization needs to give me the access, right? So to give the access, here you can see that there is an assigned role. Now this assigned role is only for admin roles, right? So I will not go for the admin role now. I can go for the subscription role. Now, whenever we are talking about the access level, we need to give the least privileged access. So if you are working for one of the project and that project belongs to one resource group, so we will give you only the resource group level permission, not subscription level permission. Even if you are inside the resource group for that application, if you are only responsible for data part, then I will give you the access only on the data services. Suppose you are taking care of the SQL databases or the storage, then I will give you the permission on the storage account level only. So though you are inside my resource group, you can see my all services inside the resource group. Then also you can't do anything because you don't have a permission. You can only work with your storage account or your SQL databases, right? So that is what the part of your role-based access control. So you will get this option access control IAM on your management group, on your subscription level, or on your resource group level, or on your resources level. Everywhere there is a third option which is called as a IAM, right? Now, instead of going through the subscription, let's get inside the resource group. So if I want to give the permission only on the resource group, see here, this is the IAM, right? So what I can do, I can give you the least privileged access only. Now to do that, we also have options. Either I can go for the direct role assignment. Direct role assignment means inbuilt roles. Microsoft already have multiple inbuilt roles. See here, reader access, ACR delete, ACR image, then ACR pull, who can do the ACR push, and all these things are there, right? Here we have the privileged admin roles. So here we have owner role, contributor role, and these are the roles. So basically, we have three roles. So you can see multiple roles over there, right? But still, I can say that we have three roles, basic roles. So there is an organization chart. Now, what is that organization chart? First one, it is starting from management group. Inside the management group, we have subscription. Inside subscription, we have resource group. And inside resource group, we have resources. Right? Now, how it will work? So basically, we have three roles. Means one is a owner role. Another one is a contributor role. Third one, we have a reader role. And fourth one is also there, which is called as a user admin role. Actually, this is an administrator role, but still it is also there in your RBAC roles as well. Now, here, first of all, we have a read permission. Then we have a create, edit, delete permission. And another one who can give the access to anyone else, right? Now, the owner is having the highest privileged. So we will not recommend that that you should give the owner permission to anyone. So you always need to understand what is the list privilege and provide that much access only. So owner can read anything, can create, edit, delete anything, and can access, can give the permission to anyone else as well. Right? So that is what the owner role permissions. Contributor role can read the date information, can create, edit, delete the resources, but cannot do the access, cannot provide the access to anyone else. Reader role can read the things, can't create, edit, delete, and can't give the permission as well. And the user admin role, as I said, this is the admin role. So they don't have permission on the read, create, edit, delete. Only they can give the permission to others, right? So those are the basic role. Now, whenever I'm saying that those are the basic role, so if I want to give you the permission on only virtual machine and I don't want to give the owner role, so I will go for the contributor role. So there is a virtual machine contributor role, virtual machine reader role, right? For the storage account as well, storage account reader role, storage account contributor role, even storage account have the data contributor role, blob contributor role. After that we have that queue contributor role, queue reader role. So like that, Microsoft has already created multiple roles, which is called as a role based access control. So here you will get that. See here, grant full access. So if I'm going back, see here, job function roles. So you will get all the resource level permissions. See, if you are working with Azure Batch, then there is a Azure Batch account contributor role, reader role, contributor role. See here, multiple. As per your resource, there are multiple roles. See here, regarding with the R Kubernetes, we have the viewer role, writer role. So on the level of ACR, Azure Container Registry, we have these roles. See here, again, we have the roles on the level of automation accounts. We have Azure configurations, we have, right? So not only that, there are multiple roles. See here, you can go for it. See, so many roles. Per resource, we have the roles, right? Now, another thing where you will get that understanding what is doing what. See here, from the description itself, you can get to know about that this is the role, what it means. But if you want to see that, what is the exact actions we have, permissions, what are the data actions we have, permissions. So you can go through these roles, permissions as well. Or you can go for the JSON roles as well. Or you can just check the assignments, right? So like that, you will get to know all these built-in roles. Now, here we have another option, which is custom role. So suppose I wanted to provide you the access on virtual machine. You can create a virtual machine, but you can't delete the virtual machine. Right? So if I want to give you the permission to create the virtual machine, but don't delete the virtual machine, then which role we can provide? List privilege. If I am providing the reader role, then that person can't create even the virtual machine. If I am providing the contributor access, then that person create as well as delete the things. So this will also not make sense. So what I can do, I can go for the custom roles. Now for that, I can go for the scratch and then add a permission. So now to add the permission, what I need to do, I need to search from this service providers. So those are the resource providers. So if I want to write anything for my virtual machine, then there is a Microsoft.compute, right? See here, this is the resource provider for my virtual machine. So see here, if I want to customize it, that person can read the availability set, can create the availability set, but can't delete the availability set like that. See here, capacity, related to the capacity or anything. See, all the options are there. See, Many options are there. So you need to just select what you want, what you need to give the permission, what you just cancel out that permission. So you can customize it on the very, very low level as well, right? You can just give whatever you want, that much only you can just provide that access. Now, not only with the compute. So suppose I wanted to provide the permission on this level for the compute. Again, I wanted to go for back and I wanted to add permission on the Red Hat OpenShift, or I wanted to give the permission on this one, whatever, Dell storage or the edge ordering, whatever you want. You can just go through that all the resource providers and give the permissions, right? And then you can add that permissions over here and then assign it. That is also fine. It means you can customize it. Now let's say I'm going for my subscription, on my subscription, and let's give the permission. So see here, there is a IAM, and here we have add role assignment, right? Now, when I do that on the subscription level, I'm providing the access. Then here there are multiple roles. Either I can give the permission, which is a reader role, or what I can do, I can give the permission, which is the highest privileged. Now, if I'm selecting contributor access, see here, condition is blurred out. If I'm selecting contributor access, then I'm not getting this option. If you are having the owner role, if you want to give someone owner role, then it means that that person have the complete access. That person can delete your subscription as well. That person can do anything with your subscription. So if you want to restrict, I wanted to give the permission, which is the owner role only, but here we have the users, group, service principals, and the managed identity. Now, Bharat is part of user. So what I can do, I can give the permission on that basis and then select it. Now, adding that permission, do I need to give the complete permission, high privileged? No. What I can do, I can add some conditions. What kind of conditions you can add? 4 types of conditions you can add. Either you can go for the constraint roles. It means allow user only assign roles you select. I can say that, okay, by using the owner role, let's say that person needs to connect key vaults. So if you are working for the key vault, then you need to assign the permissions as well. But contributor access don't have the permission to give permission to anyone else, right? Only owner role can do. Okay, I'm giving owner role, but I will add the roles as well, which permission you can provide. So I can choose that from here itself. You need the permission, you can only assign the permission, which is this one, ACR pull or ACR push. That's it. No other things. So I can call out the permissions as well, which permission by using the owner role as well, which permission you can provide, right? So this part we can do. Or else I can go for the principal type where I can add a role, which role you can assign and to whom. So to whom means what? You can give the permission only to the users or only to the service principals. But when I'm choosing that only to the users mean all users, right? So whatever the role, suppose I'm saying that reader role, so that reader role I can assign to any user inside the Active Directory. If I want to add more security on that, then here I can specify that things as well. By using this role, whatever I'm choosing, suppose reader role, that reader role only you can assign to this another person. So you can choose the usernames as well. So like that you can provide, right? Or else you can go for this one. Okay, you are the owner, right? but you can't give the permission as a owner role to anyone else, or you can't give the contributor access to anyone else. So I can add the exceptions as well, and then I can add it and save it. So right now what I can do, I can go back. I don't want to give owner role to anyone. So I will go for it, and then I can go for review and assign. So Microsoft recommends that you can give only owner role to 5 peoples, maximum 5 peoples. It is not kind of a blocking. Microsoft recommends that don't give the permission on your subscription level owner role specifically. If you are doing that, we will not say that don't do that. But this is for your security purpose or the vulnerabilities issues, right? So one time, because of some reason, that client needs to do multiple things. And as I was the one who is handling all these things, and for one point of time, they need the permission for some time. So near about 20 peoples need that access for that resources. And I gave that access. And suddenly, after some time, Microsoft has blocked my subscription by saying that you have given that owner role to these many persons, and that is not the recommendation. So after that, you just need to put the mail, okay, this is for my this particular requirement, so open my subscription. That is okay. So you need to give the reason. So whenever Microsoft understand that okay, something is happening here fishy, Microsoft will stop that at the same moment, right? So like that, we have this role assignments. Now, if I want to check who is having what kind of access, then this is kind of a role assignment view. You have it over here, right? Now you can see that this resource. So if I'm getting over here in my resource group, so if I can go for the resource group and let's say IAM, and let's see the role assignment. So you can see that contributor access on the resource group as well, and this is inherited from the subscription level. So that role assignments are inherited in a nature. That's why I have drawn this organization chart. So suppose I am providing contributor access on the subscription level, it means that person can create, edit, delete anything for my all resource group, all resources, because it is inherited in a nature, right? After that, suppose here on this particular resource group, day 5 resource group, I wanted to give only reader role. So it will check, it will compare. Okay, from the subscription level, it is having the contributor access. From here, they are asking for the reader access. So reader will not work because it will always go for the high privileged. So if I am having that contributor access, then why I'm going for that reader role? Will not go for that. But instead of this, on the resource group level, you are giving owner role only for the resource group level or on the resource level. So again, it will compare. Okay, contributor role and owner role. Which one is big? Owner role. So for this particular resource group only, for day 5 resource group only, that person will be having a owner role, right? So like that, this will be inherited in a nature. Now let's check. So now I'm having on my another user, and you can see that this is the resource group. Sorry, this is my permission. See here, and it is active. What I can do now, I can go for it, and from here I can create a resources. Now it is okay for me. So this is how you are getting the access. Is this clear now how that authentication and authorization works? Yes. Is this clear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Perfect. Now, Let's go back. Now let's again go for my Entra ID. And from that Entra ID, so now let me just go over here. This is a user account. Let me go from here, Entra ID. So if I can go for the Entra ID and users, right? If I can go for the users, see here we have the multiple users. I can list out, right? So let me just create one user from here. Suppose this person wants to create a user. That is not allowed, right? That is not allowed. Why it is not allowed? Because creating a user is part of admin role. That person is having the access on resource level, not on admin level, right? So what is the admin role? So here you can see that here we have the roles and the administrators. Suppose I wanted to give the permission on the admin level. So what I need to do, I need to get inside the user, and then here we have the assigned roles. Here we have the assigned roles. Now here, who can do what? Suppose you are the owner of the subscription and you need to do the billing. You need to do the payment for that subscription. So as the owner role of that subscription, you don't have the permission, because again, this is kind of an admin role. So here you need to go for the billing administrator. See here, this is a billing administrator. See here, can perform common billing related tasks like updating payment informations and all. You can't do that, right? After that, suppose here we have another level, which is application administrator or application developer. If you want to create an app registration, now what is mean by app registration? That part we will going to discuss in some time, okay? But if you want to create identity for the external sources, external applications, then you can't directly create that. You need the permissions from here. Even if you want to manage the DevOps roles, then you need the permission, which is a DevOps administration, right? So see here, there are multiple roles are present, and the highest privileged role is global administrator role. See here. So you will be a global admin role. So as a owner, I'm the owner of it. So I'm having that global admin role. Okay. Now here you can go for the global reader role as well. Group administrator role. See here, members of this role can create and manage groups. Who can create the groups? See here, guest inviter. Who can invite the guests, right? So that is also we have a multiple permission. See here, who can create the Microsoft Fabric resource? So for that also you need the permission. See here, multiple permissions are there, right? So from here, there is one more permission which is called as a user administrator. See here, user administrator role means you can create a users. So right now, Bharat don't have the permission to create a user because Bharat don't have a user admin role. So if I want to provide that role, I need to add it and then save it. Okay. But I will not do that. I will not do that because always we need to go for list privileged access. Now here also you can see that licenses and all options are there. So first of all, let's go for it. Let's go back to my account. This is my tenant. Now we discuss about the user. Now this is the way how you can run, how you can create it one by one user. But let's suppose we have to create a users in hundreds, thousands kind of things. Most of the users, many employees are joining my organization now, and I wanted to create a username and password for them, right? So to do that, see here, there is a bulk operation. So what you need to do, first of all, you need to create a bulk, right? So you can just click on that. And over here, there is a sample template. So you need to download that sample template. You need to append your information onto that with the same manner. And then you can upload back over here and then create the users, right? Simple. So you can create a multiple users by using this, right? Now, after that, once we are done with the user part, there is a group. So you can create a groups as well. Now, why we need to create a groups? Suppose I wanted to create a permissions, or I wanted to provide the permission to 10 employees, because that all 10 employees will be working on one resource group for one of the application, right? So instead of selecting that access and then select that 10 employee names in my usernames, that is hectic for me. So to simplify that, I can create a group. So let's say I will say that this is my uh, mm, IT group, or I can say that anything, right? I can just put that IT group. I'll add the description, or I can just keep it as it is. After that, there is one option which is assign. And here I can see that there is a drop down, something is there, but I'm not able to see that because this is grayed out. So to create a users or create a groups, there are two options. Either you can go for assigned option, or you can go with the condition, right? You can go with conditions. Now, what is mean by the conditions? So this is a Boolean algebra. Means what? Let's say you want to create a group of employees who all are working in as a Java developer. So let's say there are multiple offices and we need to collect all the informations and we need to collect all the users, and I need to create a group of that all employees who are having the job title as a Java developer. Then job title where I need to put. So whenever we are creating the employee username and password, that time only we are putting each and everything, right? So I wanted to add the condition. If job title is equals to this, then put these all users in my group. So this is an automation, right? So you don't need to collect each and every one by one names and check for the usernames and then add it manually. So this assigned one is a manual one. So you need to add a member one by one from here, right? So it might be an application, it might be a user or anything. So suppose I wanted to add this person, this user in my group. So I can just select that. I wanted to add the owner as well. So I can add the owner as well over here and then select that and then create a group. So you can create a group manually. But if you want to make it automation, then you need licenses, right? So how you can create a group? This is the way how you can create a group manually. So this is the one. Now, let's go back whenever I'm talking about the licenses. So right now we are using free license. See here, this is the free license. So we can access users, groups. I can add the app registration. I can add the enterprise level applications and this and that. Okay. But as an admin, this is not the only one that you need to manage, right? Nowadays, multiple identities are accessing your account. Multiple identities means what? So maybe it is kind of a device, your smartwatches, printers, or some kind of a other cloud. So they all needs to access Azure portal directly or indirectly, right? So to do that, Microsoft Entra ID is responsible for all authentications and authorizations, providing the access tokens, right? So that is why the licenses are also important to add the securities and all. to make that policies for it. So over here, you can see that licenses, I don't have the licenses, and those are paid licenses. Okay. So you need to pay extra amount for the licenses. There are three things that you need to pay in your Azure portal. One is for your subscription. Another one is for your licenses if you want to add more security on your Entra ID. And the third one is for your support. So for support also you need to pay separate. You need to opt for it. So right now I'm not going for the support as well, but I can go for the licenses. So over here you can see that all products, and there is no option to try and buy. Okay, now this is also not allowed. See here. Earlier, there was one option to try and buy. At least we can just try it out for the free version. But now that option is also not available. But once you have that license with you, you can do the security. It means for the groups, you can create a automation. That is a simple part. But here there is a security. You can see that security part. So to add the security, we need the licenses. Either you need the premium P2 license or you need the enterprise level license. See here, you can add the conditional access. So right now I don't have the license, so I can't create the policy. But you can create the conditional access policy if you have the licenses. And what is mean by that? You can see here, when any user is outside the company network, they can't log in, or they can sign in with the multi-factor authentication. When user in the managers group sign in, they are required be on an Intune compliant and domain joined devices. So these are kind of a policies. So I can give you the examples. See, if your organization gave you some sort of laptops, right? Let's say Windows laptops, right? Windows operating system. So I can put a condition as well. You can only log in from the Windows operating system. Sometimes you will think about that, okay, I will log in from my mobile phone because I wanted to go out. No, not possible. So you can restrict it from here from the conditional access policies. How you can log in? So no one can easily log in by using the username and password. I wanted to add here multi-factor authentication. Authenticator app is there, or the password protection is there, or something like that. OTP is there. So I can decide from here, you need to complete how many sign-in procedures. Suppose out of 3, you need to complete only 2 or only 1. I can add the conditions over here. Even I can block some devices, I can block some applications from the conditional access policies, right? So there are multiple options how you can add, how you can secure your access whenever someone wants to access your Azure portal, how you can secure that, how you can add the conditions on it. So these things you will get it over here, and these things will enable in your license only, right? And that licenses are not present right now. Even you can go for the identity protections, right? So these things are present. Major security point is present. If you have the licenses, you can go for it, right? Right now we don't have, then forget it. Okay. Password reset is also there. So if I want to do the password reset for one of the participant or anyone, then I can go for the free trial. See here, this feature. Okay, that option is present over here. So this is a Microsoft Entra suite. We have a Entra governance ID, and this is a Entra ID P2. So you can just understand that. See here, with the Microsoft Entra suite, you can extend zero trust foundation by securing access for any identities. So like that, these are licenses we have. This is my P2 license. You can gain access to advanced security feature reacher reports, and also if I want to go for it, I can go for it and then I can activate it. Right? Okay, I need to log out to create that account. So I will do that afterwards. Okay, right now I don't need it. So I can just skip that part, but you can have these all options. Another thing we have is the company branding. So whenever you are logging into my account, so see here, whenever you are going for that username and password to log in into this account, you will get that logos, some background change, right? So this is because of the company branding. So you can customize it. You can add some images, graphics like that. You can just do it by using the company branding. Okay. So now let's go for the next part. We understood about the users and groups, how to do that. Now let's go for app registrations. So this is service principle. Now what is mean by that? What is mean by that and why we need it? So let's talk about that part. So if you are the user or if you are the person, I will simply say that if you are a person, I can create a username and password for you, or else I can invite by using the email ID, right? Same thing for the groups. If you are a user or you have any identity inside the Entra ID, I can just collect the information and I can create a group. Fine. But let's say someone else, outsider, maybe it is a different origin. Maybe DevOps wants to connect to Azure portal. Maybe your device or your application, on-premises application wants to access your Azure portal resources. Or the any application or other cloud or any devices wants to connect to your Azure portal and wants to access your Azure resources. How you will do that? As this is a device or this is kind of application or this is kind of other cloud, how I can create a username and password for that? So you can't create that, right? So for that, what we need to do, we need to create a temporary identity inside Entra ID. What I'm saying that, suppose let's take the example. I'm a trainer and I need to provide a training for 5 days. So I will be coming onto your office and I need the access in your office environment, right? Premises, and at least access onto that particular room where I am providing you the training, right? So some of the access I need inside the premises. So for that, how I will get that access? So will you treat me as your employee? No. I am the guest, right? So you will give me the access, which is a temporary access, right? So Accenture or anything, they are having that facility. So if someone is coming to their premises, then they will create a pass. They will also create some kind of a smart cards for them. So this is kind of a temporary pass, which is having that time manner. Or I can say that if you are attending or if you are coming to our office from this particular time to this particular time, and you will be present in some particular room, to access that room to for that particular time period, they will be providing you that particular smart card, right? Which is your temporary authentication and authorization. So similar to that, in your Azure portal, if someone wants to access the Azure resources for some particular time period, then what you need to do, you can go for the service principles. So this is what the service principle. So for the external sources, anyone, it is not only the external. So someone created the application in your Azure portal and that application is also treated like a outsider. For example, your web application is having the URL. So you can just understand that URL. See here, this is a origin, portal.azure.com, right? For DevOps, there is a dev.azure.com. So the origin is different. If you are going for the web application URL is also different. If any different origin wants to access the Azure portal, they need the service principal. Okay? Understood what is mean by the service principal? Now, how to create the service principal? To create a service principal, we need the registration, app registration. Now, to give that, see here, this is my account. I need to add the name. I can just say that this is service principal name 123, any number, right? And now, if you have a multiple tenants and you need to create the app registration for all the tenants, belongs to all tenant, you can provide that. But I will go with the single tenant because I am having the single tenant. Now here, this is an optional one. But let's say once that identity is done with the authentication and they got the token, then they will redirect it to this URL. So if someone wants to access your organization Azure portal and you want to redirect that service principal to particular URL, you can put that URL, which is a redirected URL, right, over here. And then you can select the platform. Either you want to redirect it to the mobile or desktop URL or web, which is kind of a confidential one, or you have already created one single page application and you want to redirect that person or that identity, then you can do that and then you can go for a register. As this is the simple one, so I will go for this one. So see here, client ID, tenant ID we have. So now from the admin side, who can create the service principal? Admin side. Whoever is having the permission to create that, they can only generate the identity. Now, if I want to provide the access to any device or any other, what we can say, application or any other portal or anyone, then what I need to provide? I need to provide them the client ID. I need to provide them the tenant ID. I need to provide them the subscription ID, right? And with the secrets. So here I can add one more layer of security. Now, what kind of a layer of security we have? Either to authenticate, you can add the certificate, right? Or you can go for the federated credentials. So federated credentials allow other identities to impersonate this application by establishing trust. So this is kind of, let's say it is creating the trust in between your identities. So for example, there is a GitHub, right? GitHub portal, or there is a DevOps portal. So instead of going through the certificates and secrets, we will go for the federated credential. So it will create a trust in between both of them, right? So you can add the credentials from here. Or else, if you want to create a secret where you can just add the timelines. So this is my identity. For identity, you can access my Azure portal. I will say that this is my password kind of things, right? You can access it only for next 90 days. Or I can do the customization as well. I can do the start. So I will go for start date is this and end date will be this tomorrow. It will end tomorrow. Okay. By using this service principal, you can access my account only for only till tomorrow. So you need this one. See here, copy this. So this will be available only once. After some time, if you refresh that page or if you go here and there, this value you can't access. Okay. So you need to copy that and you need to put it somewhere and then only it will work. Okay. So once we are done, let me just copy this to the chat window. Maybe I need it. I will not go for it, but let's put that over here. Okay. Now this is what a complete authentication. Still, I have not done the authorization. This is only the authentication. Now let's go for it and provide the permission, which is the authorization. So over here, you need to go for IAM on the subscription level or whatever you want. So you need to go for the least privilege. I'm going for the highest privilege, but best practice is always go for the least privileged. Okay. Now, if I wanted to give the permission, which is a contributor access, and what is that? This is again belongs to the service principal, not a managed identity. So I can go for it and then I will give the permission. I need to search for it. So what was the name? SPN, something like that. See here. So I will select that and then select and then review and assign it, right? So this is how you can give the permission. So this is complete authentication and authorization. Okay. So this is the service principal. Now you can collect the information, client ID, tenant ID, subscription ID, the secret which you have generated. Give those all details to other entities. Maybe you want to give it to the GitHub portal or DevOps portal, or let's say other cloud, or let's say anyone. So maybe it is a device, or maybe it is an application, or maybe it is any other cloud, or maybe it is any other origin. So you need to provide this all information to them. By using that, they can access my Azure portal. They can access the contributor access on my subscription level, right? So this is what service principle, and this is specifically for outsiders. For one, where we can't create username and password. That is what the service principle. Okay. Is this clear what is meant by service principle? Yes. Yes, team. Are you able to understand that? What is meant by service principle? Shahad, Satya, Bharat, anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
If you can't understand that, just let me know. I will take another example for it. Okay.
All right.
Yes, sure.
All right, great. So I'll take it that you are able to understand what is mean by service principle. Now let's talk about managed identities. Now let's say that. Okay, now I'll go for my this one and I'll say that web app. So let's create one web application. Okay, so this is my day 5. I'll put the naming convention as day 5, something like that, right? Then this is my runtime stack. I'll go for any that is not required for me right now. Region, okay. This one is also okay. And free version, okay. So I'll go for the free version and then review and create. Okay, done. Now, the scenario is to understand the managed identity. Managed identity, we are creating it for resource. Okay, so let's go for it. Suppose I have data, or let's say there is a web application. So what is that? This is my web application, right? Another thing, we have a storage account. right? We have a storage account, we have a web application. Now, why we have a storage account? Because web application, whatever the code we are writing, it is also taking the images, audio files, video files from the storage account, right? So the data is present in my storage account and the application is running on web application. Now let's say we have Shahad. I'm just taking the names for the reference, okay? So we have Shahad and we have Satya. So they both are working in the same project. Again, I will say that both the services are present in the same resource group as well. Okay. But Satya is completely responsible for storage account security and Satya is owner of storage account and Satya is not having the access on web application, list privilege. I'm just providing the access on the resource group level, but storage account only, right? Storage account owner role. Shahad is having web application owner role. Again, Shahad don't have the permission on the storage account, though they are present in the same resource group, though they are best friends. Okay, they don't have the permission because Satya responsible for storage, Shahad responsible for web application. Now the thing is, for the web application, we have to access a storage account, right? For web application, if I want to run that, then I have to access storage account. Now, how to access the storage account? If you remember, in that web application, there is a application settings. So in that application settings, I need to add a connection string of a storage account. So this is my connection string, right? I need to add that connection string to that app settings. Now, as Shahad don't have a permission to access storage account, so what Shahad will do? Shahad will ask Satya to copy the connection string and share it with me. So Shahad will keep that inside the app settings. Will it a good practice? Best practice? Yes or no? Can Satya is responsible for storage account security?
No.
No. Because connection string is what? It is a sensitive information. If someone is asking you, share your password, Facebook password, can you do that? No, because that is a sensitive information. Even you can't share it with your family members as well. Right?
Right.
Because this is sensitive information, I can't share it with you. So what I can do? As an application perspective, I have to provide you the connection string, but I can't give you the connection string directly. So what I can do, I can create a key vault in between. What I can do, I will create a key vault. Now, key vault is one of the service which will give you the secure access. So this is kind of a vault, your locker, right? So you are keeping your connection string over here. So this is what? This is a secret, right? And you are putting that connection string inside the secret. And from that secret, there is a secret identifier, right? There is a secret identifier. And that secret identifier, Satya will provide to Shahad to keep it inside the application settings. So this is the flow. Now you may have the question, okay, what is the use of that then? Because Satya is giving the access indirectly to the connection string. So now here is the case, right? Shahad got that secret ID, secret identifier, but Shahad can't access the connection string. Shahad can't access the storage account. Why? Because there is another layer. So key vault, once you keep your secrets inside the key vault, you need to give the permission who can read the secret identifier, right? So from key vault, you need to give the permission on the secrets who can read the secret identifier. Now, Satya have the question to whom I can give the permission to read the secret identifier. The answer is no for Shahad, because indirectly I can't give the permission to read that secret identifier. Who wants the access actually? Web application wants to access my storage account. So I need to give the permission to web application, not Shahad, right? But how I can provide the permission to web application? Because web application is the service. It is a resource. It is not having its own identity. Name is there, but it doesn't belongs to the identity inside our Entra ID, right? So now the managed identity comes into the picture. If the service is present inside the Azure portal, but that service wants the access, so that service needs the identity. To attach the identity for the Azure resource is called managed identities, right? This is called managed identity. So that managed identity again belongs to Microsoft Entra ID, right? And acts as a identities like others, like users, groups, as well as your service principal. Like that, we have the managed identity. But this is specifically for that particular resource. Now, what I will do from Satya side, Satya will not give the permission to Shahad. Satya will give the permission to web applications attached identity, right? So that web application can read the secrets and connect to the storage account. So this is how we can secure our information, right? Now the question is how we can attach it to the resource. So we have two options. One is inbuilt option and another one is outside you can attach. Now what is mean by that? So some of the services are already having system assigned managed identity, right? Which is inbuilt in a nature. Now, we need to understand that this option is not available for each and every resource. Why? Because some of the resources wants to access something, but some of the resources don't want to access something. They are the donors, right? They are the providers. So for example, your storage account. Storage account don't need to access anything. Storage account is the storage of data. Someone wants to access it. Everyone wants to access it. So everyone means what? Who? Maybe it is a server, virtual machine, your function app, your ACIs, your AC container apps, your web applications, your logic apps, AKS. So those are the servers who are actually working onto the applications or something like that. They want the permission to access storage. So they only have the capacity or capability to create the identity or to attach the identity. So if it is inbuilt in a nature, so whatever is the inbuilt in a nature is called system assigned managed identity, and the one which we are attaching it external, which is called as user assigned managed identity, right? Now how to do that? So first of all, what I can do, I can create a key vault. I will not show each and everything because for web application we need the program, but I will give you the scenario. So first of all, what we need the key vault. Now what is mean by key vault? So you understood that inside the key vault, it is kind of a locker for us, which will secure our data. Now data in terms of what? So key vault will secure your secrets, certificates, and keys. What is mean by secret? Passwords, numbers, your connection strings, your access keys. So those, whatever is your sensitive information is secret. Certificate means what? Suppose your organization wants to put the VPNs for that. So for VPNs as well, every machine have their own certificates, right? Or maybe it is a SSL or TLS certificate or any kind of things certificates are there. So if you want to secure the certificate, you can put it over here. Keys means what? Your encryption and decryption keys. So whenever there is a storage, there is one option for customer managed keys, right? Microsoft is doing that encryption and decryption. But if you want to manage it by yourself, there is one option of key vault. So you need to keep your keys inside your key vault for the encryption and decryption purpose. So that keys you can secure. Now, to secure all these things, we have a key vault. Now, how to get the access on a key vault? So key vault only give the access on identity level. And also key vault have two types of security. One is a standard and another one is HSM, or I can say that premium tier. In premium tier, we have HSM. HSM means hardware security modules. So separate, we have a hardware which is present in the data center. And if you are opting for the key vault with premium tier, Microsoft gives you the hardware level security where your data will be secure on each and every layer. Whenever you are inserting, whenever you are accessing, whenever you are doing anything, it will be hardcore or it will be secured by some particular algorithm which is written and which is protected by the hardware modules, right? So your banking applications or your wherever there is a security, high demand of the security, that time you can go for the HSM modules. But in normal way, you can go for the standard one. Standard one also, Microsoft uses that algorithm to secure your data, but in the software they are just writing the softwares for that and they are keeping your data secure. Okay. Now, key vault give the permission only on to the identity level. Now there are two levels of access. One is a key vault level and another one is a vault level. Now, what is the key vault level? Key vault level means RBAC roles. Key vault owner role, key vault contributor role, key vault reader role. So if the key vault level access is there, it means that identity can access secrets, certificates, keys, everything. Okay. But the vault level, vault means what? Suppose in my key vault, I stored 5 secrets, 2 certificates and 4 keys, means what? Total 11, right? 11 is my vault number. So how many keys and certificates and secrets I am securing inside the key vault are my vaults, right? So if you want the permission on the vault level, on the secret level, suppose I want to give the permission only on the secret level, which is a read permission. For certificate, create permission. For keys, only list permission. So you can manage these things. If you want to only provide the permission on secret, you can also do that. So this is what the vault level. So this is called as a access policies. So which is called as access policy, right? So whenever you are creating the key vault, you will get that two options, whether you want to go for the RBAC or whether you want to go for the access policy, right? So understand these changes, or I can say that these differences. Now let's create a key vault. See here, we have that key vault. Now, inside that key vault, first of all, you need to choose your resource group. I will choose key 123 number, and then I'll keep it inside my central US. It is already in use. I will keep it like something. Okay. I'll go for central US, and this is the one option, right? Either you can go for the standard tier, either you can go for the premium tier. So if your data is very, very sensitive, then you can go for the premium tier, or else I can go for the standard one. Now, here there is a soft delete. Now I will put that soft delete as a 7 days. Now what happened over here? So if you delete vault, then that vault will be present in your soft delete. Now for the next 7 days, you can restore that vaults back and then you can utilize it, right? So this is what the soft delete. Now this is a purge protection. So by default, this is disable. But if you want to enable it, now what is mean by enabling it? It means you are enforcing mandatory retention period. Now what happened if it is disabled? So what will happen over here? Suppose today only after my session, I wanted to delete my key vault. It will allow me to delete my key vault directly with my all vaults. That is fine. But suppose if I'm doing this purge protection enable, then the procedure is first of all, I need to delete my all vaults, keys, secrets, and certificates. I need to wait for the retention period for the next 7 days. And after 7 days only, I can delete my key vault. Till that time, I will not able to delete my key vault, right? So this is what the purge protection, which is enforcing a mandatory retention period for deleted vaults and the vault objects. So right now, I don't want that because after the session, I will delete that. Now here you have the two options, permission models. So you need to choose whether you want to go for the role-based access control or whether you want to go for the vault permissions. So I will go for the access policy level and I will keep it as it is. Okay. Because after some time we can add the users. Either you can add this from here itself. But let it be. Once we create the key vault and once it is ready to use, we will do that. Okay. So let's go for it. Now let's create a key vault. Let's wait for a while. Now let's hit on create. Done. Once it start that deployment, we'll talk about the system assigned and managed assigned. Okay. User assigned. All right, done. So it will start the deployment. So I'll go over here, home page. Let me just go for it. Now, see here on the web application, I wanted to enable the identity. So that identity is present over here. You can see that this is my web application and this is my identity, right? So here we have two options. One is a system assigned, which is inbuilt, but it is in an ideal mode. So you need to enable it. Why we are increasing the unwanted username and passwords or unwanted identities in our Entra ID? Because whatever the identities are present, to keep it secure, to manage it, everything is a part of Entra ID. So to reduce the burden on it, by default, it is off. If you want to give the permission, or if for because of some reason that web application wants the permission from someone else, then and then only enable it and save it. Okay. So now we are attaching the identity with the name of day 52343 for my web application, right? So see here, this is the identity and this identity belongs to my Entra ID. See here, this resource is now registered with Entra ID. Got it? Now you can also attach user assigned, but see here, for the user assigned managed identity, it is saying that add means I need to first of all create the identity and then attach it over here, right? So now let's understand the scenario where we need to use that system assigned and user assigned. Suppose we have web application, right? We have function app. Let's say we have let's virtual machine, right? We also have the virtual machine. Now these three resources wants to access storage account. They want to access storage account, and what they want? They want blob data reader access. What they want? They all wants blob data reader access. So now I have two options. Either I can create a system assigned managed identity on web application. So this is what my system assigned managed identity. I will create system assigned managed identity for function app as well. And I will create a system assigned managed identity on my virtual machine as well. Like that. So now how many system assigned managed identities we have? 3. And they all want the same permission, which is blob data reader access. So instead of creating 3 separate system assigned managed identities, what we can do, I can go for proxy identity. I hope you know about the carpooling. Suppose 3 friends are there, right? Maybe from the different location, nearest locations, and they want to go for one office. So either they can go with their own car. Either they can go with their own car. So per head, they need to go with own car means 3 cars we required, 3 bikes, 3 cars, something like that. But instead of that, if their destination is same, remember the destination is same, then they can do the carpooling, right? So they can use only single car and they can go for it. Simple. This option is simple. So the major part is if the destination is same, if the access level is same, then instead of creating the separate system assigned managed identity, I'll create a proxy identity. So this is what? This is proxy identity, right? So this is called as user assigned managed identity. So this is user assigned managed identity. So you need to create a separate identity, proxy identity, attach it whatever resources you want, and then from the storage account, give the permission, which is a blob data reader access. So this is how the user assigned managed identity will work. Now to do that, what we need to do? We need to get inside this and we need to search for managed identities. See here, this is a resource, simple resource. You just need to add the resource group. That's it. Name, I can put my ID, something like that. Region, any, no need to worry about it. Isolation, if you want to make it regional only, you can do that. But I don't want to give that. I wanted to just open it for everyone and then create it. Simple ID. Okay, because it is kind of a proxy identity. So let's create that. And once we create that, we can attach it to the multiple resources. So those who have the identity option, that only. So you can attach the same identity to your web application, function app, logic app, containers, or anything. So see here, simple one. It is not having anything else. See, simple, right? So I will go for my web application now, right? And inside that web application, we have the identity option. It is already having the system assigned managed identity. That is fine. You can also attach user assigned managed identity, right? And this is my ID. Add it. That's it. So the services or the resources who have the identity option, they can attach only single system assigned managed identity, but they can also attach multiple user assigned managed identities. Right? Multiple. You can attach multiple identities over here. Now, in which scenario we need to go for the system assigned managed identity? So we understood that when we need to go for user assigned managed identity, if multiple services wants to access a same resource with the same permission, then you can go for the user assigned managed identity. But suppose, on other hand, virtual machine with blob data reader access, they also want table contributor access. So if that virtual machine only specifically wants the table contributor access. So as we need to follow the principle of least privilege, so I can't give table contributor to this user assigned managed identity so that web application and function app also will get the same. No, we can't go like this. We can't give the extra permission to anyone. So whatever you want, that much only we are going to provide. But now the thing is we need to provide the virtual machine table contributor access from the storage account. So what we can do, we can create a system assigned managed identity. So on virtual machine, I will create system assigned managed identity. Right? And give the permission, which is this. And here we have this. Right? So the separate permission, if you want to do 101, you can go for system assigned managed identity. If you want to do many to one, you can go for user assigned managed identity. Okay. So this is the scenario. Now, once we are ready with identities, then what I need to do? Now I need to get inside my key vault. Right? Go to the key vault, and here we need to create a secret. So what we are going to do, see this. Our connection string, we need to copy the connection string and we need to put it inside the key vault. And then copy that secret identifier and put it inside the app settings. So first of all, what I need to do, I will go for my portal. First thing, I need to get inside the storage account and copy the connection string. So here we have the access keys, show and copy this connection string. Okay. Done. Now let's go for the key vault. And then inside the object here, you will get that keys, secrets and certificates. So connection string belongs to secret. So I will go for secret. I'll put the naming convention as storage 1. That's it. And over here, I will put my connection string value. After that, from here, you can enable the activation date and time. You can enable the expiration date and time as well. Whatever you want, you can do that. And then hit on create. Once it is created, you can get inside this vault and see here. This is my current version and this is the secret identifier. So this is my secret identifier. So from here onwards, that secret identifier will go into the next step, right? So from here, you will not able to see that your data as well. If you want to see that, you can just click on that show secret value. But only you can see that because you are the owner of it. No one else can see that. And now from here onwards, everyone will see only this secret identifier. Now what I need to do? I need to get inside my web application. I need to go over here and then that app settings, configurations. Environment variable. We need to get inside the environment variable. And over here, inside the application settings, we need to add the value. Okay. And here I will put that key vault. Or I can say that storage. Okay. So like that, you can see here the value. Now, for the key vault, you can't keep that value directly. So first of all, what you need to do? You need to put it into the bracket. Not bracket. See here. First of all, you need to tell if you are working with the key vault, you need to specify for the application setting. Okay. So for this one web application, you can directly put that. But whenever you are working with the function applications, function apps, you need to tell function that which is this provider. So if I'm putting this connection string or if I'm putting this secret identifier in my function apps application setting, then I need to tell them specifically that this value belongs to my Microsoft Key Vault and this is a secret URI, right? So over here inside the web application, you don't need to worry about it. For the web application, you can just directly keep that your secret identifier and then you can just go for apply. Okay. And then again here apply and then confirm. Now, once you are done with this, that is not only sufficient. This is only connectivity, but how you can access the key vault? To access the key vault, we need to give the permission, right? So from here on the key vault, I need to give the permissions. So see here, there are secrets and all. So here we have the access configuration, right? So here you need to click on the go to that access policy and here you need to create. Now I wanted to give the permission, which is a get and list. That's it. Nothing else. You want to read that, then you can just go for the get permission and then next. And then I need to put the naming convention. What is my web application name? It was, let me just check that. What was my web application name? Day 5 something. So let me just copy that. Okay, and let me go for my key vault, go over here and then go for the access configurations, go to the access policies, create, get permissions, next. Here I can put this one and then this is my identity. Either I can give the permission to this or either I can give the permission to the user identity, user assigned managed identity, right? And then create it. All right. Now my web application can read the value which is present in my secret, right? Which is my connection string and then access the storage account. Now with the connection string, indirectly now my web application can access the storage account, okay? By using that connection string. Now, if I want to restrict, though you are having the connection string, though you can access my storage account, but still I wanted to restrict you by using IAM. You can do that. So from the role assignment, if though you are accessing my connection string, still I will give you the permission, which is kind of this. So there are multiple permissions. See here. So let me just go from here. Blob. See here. I want to give the permission, which is blob data reader role only. And then go for the next. Now this is a managed identity. So I will go for managed identity. And from here, I need to select which one. So we have two. Either I can give the permission to the system assign or the user assign. Now, as we have attached the key vault with the system assign, so I will go for the system assign managed identity and then select it and then review and assign it. So this is how that security part works. Okay. I hope this is you are able to follow this. Yes. Is this clear, team? How the
Yes, ma'am.
vault and all these things are there and how we can secure the data, what is mean by managed identity, in which condition we can go for the user assigned managed identities and all. Okay. So this is done. All right. Now let me go back to our resource. Now what we did, so let me just tell you about that. We did our RBAC role, right? But we need to talk about the policies as well, right? Tagging we have already discussed. What is meant by resource group we have already discussed. Now let's talk about the management group as well. So the management group is kind of a tenant group. So if you have a multiple subscriptions, so to manage those subscriptions, we also have a management group. See here, there is a management group. So first of all, this is your tenant group, right? Which is having the subscription. If you want to create your new management group, so see here. So this cannot be updated after creation because this is the parent management group. What is that? This will be a parent one. So once you create that, you can't change it, right? So I can say that root management group, something like that. If I'm just putting it like this, that is okay. And display name, I can just put the display name same, right? And I'm just going to submit it. So this is my parent management group. So within that parent management group, now I can create a multiple management groups, which is my child management group. And then I can move my subscription into the child management group. So this is how you are going to manage the things, right? So this is what the management group to manage your subscriptions. So suppose, let's say there are 2-3 subscriptions are there and you want to manage 2-3 subscriptions together. How we have the RBAC roles, right? We also have the RBAC roles, right? So how you can manage that? Suppose I wanted to give the permission on 2-3 subscriptions all together. So for that, you need the management group on the highest level of that hierarchy, right? So according to that, if you want to put some policies on that, if you want to put some roles or the controls on that, then to manage it, there is a management group. Okay. So here you can move to this already. It is on to that moving and then save it. Done. So how you can work with this? You can work with this like this. See here, this is my root MG and then you can just move it to the root management group. So right now it is in that tenant root group. So if you want to change it, you can also do that, right? Done. So once we are understanding that management group part, Now let's get inside the subscription and let's understand what are the all options we have inside the subscription. One option we have, which is cost management. So you can go for the overview and you can see that all things here, it is kind of a dashboard. So you can see that right now my current cost is 1000, something like that. Then inside that SQL database value is only 107. Sorry, 707. 700 rupees gone for my SQL database only. Though I have used that list one, right? Then also it cost too much for me. After that virtual machine, Windows virtual machine, it cost 110. VMSS 98, others 135. So if you want to check what is others, you can just click on that and then you can check for it, right? Otherwise, you can go for the cost analysis and you can check all the factors on the level of resource group, on the level of resources, everything, right? See this. So in yesterday itself, my subscription is having that higher level because of that SQL database, right? So like that. So you can check all these aspects. After that, you can also add the alert rules. If you want to create a budget is something like your monthly budget. So sometimes what happened, you need to go beyond your budget. So you can't control the things, right? So budget here also means what? You are just keeping some threshold value. So if my salary is 50,000, then I will put the threshold value as 35,000, right? So this is my monthly budget. So I can't go beyond that limits. So that much only I need to manage each and everything. But sometimes what happened, there are some situations are coming. Because of that, you need to go beyond your budget. That is okay. So this is not a controlled one. Budget is for your safety. Budget is for you only to keep your complete architecture within that limit, right? So you can create your budget from here, right? You can say that, okay, this is my creation date. So right now I have reached to this particular monthly forecast. So I will say that monthly I can only spend 2000 or 3000. Okay, for this one. So I can put that amount for my budget. I can start that from this January till the December. So this will be my monthly budget, right? Monthly, quarterly, annually, you can just put that. And then you can create your budget from here. And then you can go for next. So for example, my budget, something like that, I can just put it. And I will keep that counter as 3000, right? Already I have reached out to this half of it. So I'll go for next. Now, once we have that, then you need to trigger. You need to notify, okay, out of this particular budget, I have reached out to this particular percentage. Right now, I already reach out to this 50% near about, right? 50%. So I will say that, okay, once I reach to 80%, once I reach to 80%, start the notifications for me. Just let me know if I reach to that particular things. Either you can take the action by deleting the resources or by putting the notifications or something like that. You can create a action group. Now how to create the action group and all that part I will show you in our monitoring section, not right now, right? But over here, alert recipients. So I can put my email ID over here. Whenever it will reaches to that 2400, then it will give me that notification. So like that, you can create your budget alerts, right? So this will not stop anything in your portal. It will only give you the notification that, hey, you have reached to this particular value. Now you need to do something. So I need to do something means what? I need to go for the advisory recommendations or anything so that I can understand. Suppose there are 100 virtual machines are running behind it, and some of the virtual machines are of no use. No one is using that from last 2 3 months. So advisor will give me the recommendation that you can reduce your costing by deleting that virtual machines or by taking the decision on that virtual machine. Maybe I can do the resize. So earlier what happened, one of my subscription is having that when I was not using it, then also it is reaches to that 10,000 or 12,000. So from the advisor, I got the recommendation that you need to delete this virtual machine or you need to resize this virtual machine because I was running that virtual machines on 4 vCPUs. So which is a costlier service. So I have reduced that size to 2 vCPU, which is the least one. So now my budget is coming under my, that costing is coming under my budget now, right? So like that, you need to create and you need to keep your eye on your cost analysis as well continuously. Okay. Now here you can add your billing profile invoices. After that, here we have the billing properties and all. Here you can increase the usage and quotas if you want. So for example, so let's go for this and let me just go over here. This is a compute. So I will go for the compute one, and instead of all regions, I will specifically look for Central US, right? I will specifically look for Central US. So it will give me multiple things. Now, if I want to just work with D2S V3, so I will use that D2S. This is the D series, right? D family. Yes, see here. Here we have the D family, so it is facing some kind of issues. But see here, you can see that F series. Here we have the FAM series. Let's say I will put that B series VMs, or I can say that family. B series, somewhere we have that. Yes, see here. Here I have the B series. See here, this is also having some issues, BS family. So I will go for the this one standard BAS V2, right? So for this is my quota, 0. 0 is my quota. So if I can go for the E series machines, there is a 10. It means I can create 10 vCPUs. So if I want to increase that value, then what I need to do, I need to get over here, I need to add the new limit. If instead of 10 you want 20, 30, 40, 50, something like that, you can just increase it and then submit the request, right? Now, if it is doable from Microsoft easily, then in US time zone, they will increase it, right? But sometimes what happened, it is not possible. So what you need to do, you need to create a what we can say support ticket. You need to create support ticket and then you can go for next, right? And from here you need to add the recommendations and all. Let me just go back, right? And somewhere we should have, see here, this one. So availability set, you need to create a support ticket. Now, what is your issue? You need the quotas. Which subscription? This is your subscription. Quota type, what do you want? Do you want to increase the quota for which resource? So I can just put that other request or anything. Suppose I want the quota for virtual machine or whatever you want. You can just put it over there. Let's suppose SQL database. So I can go for next. And then I need to add the additional details. How much you want. So now what is your requirement? So I can just go for the diagnostics for the no, otherwise it will charge for that as well. After that, how you need the notifications. I want the email notifications only, no phone calls. Support language is English. Then this is my details, right? So like that you need to create and then provide the details for the request. So what do you want? So do you want the vCore per subscription or what? And what location you are looking for? Let's say I'm looking for the central US. Right now, the current quota limit is 150. Sorry, the limit is 150. The current vCore used is 0. Then how much you want extra, right? You can go up to 150. So current limit is 150 means it is already available. But if you want, if I want more than that, then I can specify, okay, 150 is not sufficient for me. I wanted to go for 250 or 200 or something like that. And then you can just save and continue and then create a request. If it is doable, Microsoft increase that value and it will send you the email notification that we have increased your quota as per your request. If there is a regional limitation, sometimes what happen, everyone wants the same kind of things in the central US only. So if the central US is in the high demand, so Microsoft will decline your request. With that all, what we can say, with the proper justification, they will say that, okay, this is in a high demand, so we are not able to increase the quota for that. Either you can go for the different region if possible, right? So like that, you need to add your support ticket, right, from here. So you can check for everything, regions, as well as there are the providers, networkings and all. See, we have the networkings, public IP address, route tables and all. You can see that, right? Now, after that, here we have the policies. So you can go for the policies. Inside the authoring, here we have the assignments. Or here we have the definition. First of all, you need to start with definition. Either you can create a policy one by one, or either you can create an initiative. Initiative is nothing but it is a group of policies. So first of all, you need to provide the location of your initiative where you want to store and then select what is the name. Suppose, for example, I wanted to create this particular policy for a particular client. Or let's say, let's create it for TCS. So for client TCS, I want to create a group of policies. Now I want to create a new one, right? And now here I can add my policy. Now what kind of policies you can add? I can add the policies for allow resources, disallow resources, allow location. So for TCS, I can say that allowed location. See here, allowed locations. Even I can put that allowed location for the resource group, allowed location for the Cosmos database. I can select that, right? I can add multiple. Suppose, for example, I wanted to give tags. I wanted to do the mandate. Tag has to be mandatory and tag has to be inherited in a nature. So you can put that tags as well, inherit tags, something like that. See here. Inherit tag from subscription, inherit tag from the resource group, right? If missing, so like that, you need to add that. See here, inherit tag from resource group if missing, or else you can just put it like this. So you can just add that. Suppose one more, allow, let me just see that how many policies are there for allow. See here, allow resource. There are multiple inbuilt policies. If you want to write policies, see here, allowed resource types. So you can just go for that. Now, these three policies are sufficient for my requirement. So I can go for groups. If you want to create a group, I can go for initiative parameters, and this is my policy parameter. So now location, first of all, I need to set that location value, right? What will be my location value? I wanted to make sure about that everyone will create all the resources in the central US only. Either you can select one location or either you can select multiple locations. Okay. So South Central US is also okay. North Central also okay. West Central also okay for me. Inherit tag from the resource group. So I can put the value. Means what? This is a client. Right? So my tag value will be client. Tag key will be my client and value will be TCS, or if I'm working with Accenture, then Accenture will be the value. But tag has to be there. The name, I need that name. If the resource group is having that, then all resources will also follow the same thing, right? Allowed resource types. Now I need to put that. So allow resource types, see here, these are the resource providers. Astro, Dell storage. So suppose I wanted to give the permission to storage. You can just put that. So this is the AWS connectors. We have, see here, we have multiple. So let's suppose I want to give the permission on apps. If I want to give the permission on apps, Microsoft apps, then which kind of permissions you want to give? Resource providers. You want to give the permission to create the container apps. Go for it, right? Or else you want to you want to give the permission on the functions. You can add that, right? See here, logic apps. See here, then after that app assessments are there and so on. So if I'm doing this, then in this, by using this policy, I can, that resource groups or anyone can only create the container apps within that scope. Now first of all, let's create, review and create it. So this is just a definition. I haven't assigned it. So first of all, you need to assign it to whom? To whom you want to assign it. Let's suppose I wanted to assign it to only day 5. Okay. That resource group, not other than that. For the resources, if I want to choose, I don't want to choose anything else and then save it. Right. It means I'm saying that this is my subscription. I wanted to add this particular policy onto the subscription level, but exclude my day 5 resource group. It means I can create all other resources inside day 5 resource group, right? So you can exclude it and you can apply this policy to all the resource groups, or else you can just say that this is my day 5. I just want to put that things and then I can go for this one. So let me just remove that, remove it, and then save it, right? So if I want to change it, I wanted to make the changes on the resource group level and then select it. See here. Now suppose by using this, now you are selecting the scope only. So this, whatever the policy is there, this policy only applicable for the day 5 resource group. That's it. Nothing else. And the initiative definition is this, and then you can just go for the review and create. And then I can create it. Oh, here you need to enable the managed identities. So let's wait for a while and then review and create. See here, creating that assignment. So what was the issue? You just need to click on each and every tab because it will also create to manage the things. Microsoft itself create the identity for it and then it will attach it. Okay. So once we are done, see here, if I can go for my policies again over here, and then here my definitions, You can see there multiple definitions are already inbuilt, or else you will get your main definition. So this is my TCS. After that, inside the assignment, you will get to know about that. This is assigned to that particular scope. Okay, it is not just assigned. Let me just start it again. TCS. This is the one, right? Initiative, we have already assigned it. Assign initiative, and then day 5 only to this resource group. Then here parameter, remediations, managed identities, this one and this one, and then create. Okay, so it is saying that this is done. Let me go back into my policies. Okay, so it is saying something like that. Let me just refresh that page. Okay, so from here you will get to know about that. So this is not started yet. So let's do one thing. Let's go back to our resource group. So this is my resource group. I can go for my day 5. Now, to create the resources, let me just go for another app service. So we'll create a new web application within the same resource group, and let's see if we can add something like that. Okay. And this is my .NET. See, it is selecting that Canada Central. So I will go for that. So what is the policy? It is only allowed to Central US. After that, West Central US, North Central US and all. So if I'm selecting Canada Central and if I'm creating the web application, then will it be allowing me? So let's create and let's see. So for the initial stage, policy will take some time to apply on that, but after that it will work. Okay. So let's see whether it is done or not. Otherwise, we will again, okay, see here, it is working right now. So you can see that policy allowed resource type is only this, right? It means I can't create this application, web application. I can only create container apps and in the allowed location. So suppose if I'm going back and I'm creating the web application, let's suppose day 5, and then I will choose this name. Runtime stack, I will go for this one. And now by selecting the resource location, I'll go for Central US only, right? And then this is my free tier, and then review and create. Let's see. So now my location is correct, but I'm creating the different resource. See? Now it is throwing that message that allowed resource type is only container apps, right? So like that, you need to create the policies. Now, if you want to remove that policy, you need to get inside this into your subscription. And then you need to remove that policy. Okay. So first of all, assignment, definition. Then we have TCS. Go to that, delete the initiative. Okay, it is already assigned. So first of all, we need to cancel the assignment. Okay, so this is the assignment. I need to delete that assignment first. And then this is the also one. Okay. So let's wait for a while. Okay, done. Now let's go back to the definition and then we have PCS. Now let's go for the TCS and then delete. Okay. So like that, you need to create the initiatives and delete the initiative. So this is initiative is a bunch of policy, or if you want to create a single policy, you can create that as well. Okay. So this is how it will work. Now, there is also one point which is called as a landing zone. So Azure landing zone is for the enterprise level subscription holders, right? So this is kind of a complete architects. See here. So in a one go itself, you can add multiple things. You can design the things. You can create your infrastructure. You can add the policy. You can add the role assignments. Each and everything work together. So if you are having the enterprise level subscription, you can create your landing zone and you can repeat the things again and again, right? So if you want to design, or it is kind of a automating the things or something like that, you can use the Azure landing zone. But right now we are not going to do that, right? So this part is also done. So we are done with the subscription. We already done with the tags and all. After that, this part is remaining, right? Now, for the identity part as well, what we discuss about the identities. We discuss about the external identity option. If you remember, there is a B2C and external identity. If you want to create the tenant from that, you can do that. Conditional access policy, identity protection, access reviews are kind of recommendations only, right? We also talk about the service principal. We also talk about the keywords. Now, what is mean by the access reviews? So if you want to collect the information that who is accessing what, so this is what the access review. So let me just go for this one. Do we have the access policy? And this is also available for the licenses. So right now we don't have that licenses, but let me just give you some information at least. So the simple thing is access reviews means what you want to review. So if you remember, I have discussed about the advisor recommendation. So if my virtual machines are up and running, so it will give me the recommendation that, hey, you need to delete that VM if you are not using it, or if you need to do what we can say resize it to do the cost optimization, right? But access review means what? Right now there are multiple identities and everything is working behind the scene. So if you want to check who is accessing what, you want to review that access, then you need to go for the access reviews. Right? So this is the just kind of a heads up how what you need to do inside the access reviews and all. Okay. Now this part is done. Let me just check if we have that option uh, in my Entra ID. Identity governance. Yes, this option is present in the access review. Option is present in the identity governance. See here, you can see that you need that Entra ID licenses, right? So see here, these are my access reviews. So you can just check the catalog reviews, you can just group a app, everything you can just do that. See here, you don't have the access. For that, we need the licenses, right? But that option is present over here inside your identity, Entra ID and inside your identity governance, okay? So this part is also done. What is meant by conditional access policy is also done. Identity protection, we already know about that IDPs we have. So that part also done, right? So this and this part is done. Now let me just go through each and everything. So we are done with the compute part. We're done with the identity. We are done with the administer governance compliance, right? Now we also need to discuss about how we can work with the PowerShell and Bash and what is mean by the ARM template. Okay. So once we are done, so I will not take this part today itself, okay, because today we have already discussed so many things. So we'll do these pointers and it is a simple one. We'll do that pointers in our next session, okay? And after that, we'll start with our networking part. So networking, we have to finish, right? And we already done with the database and only the data protection, which is backup and recovery is left and the monitoring is left. And other than that, event solutions, event hub and event grid, we have already discussed. If you want, if time permits, we can do the demonstration on that as well. After that, the message based solutions are remaining. And the migration part is more on the theoretical part. I will just give you the heads up on that, how to do that. Okay, that's it. So major part is done. Now what we are left with, virtual network. This is the major part. After that, we need to complete. Then we need to complete that ARM templates and all scripting. How to do the scriptings. Then we need to talk about the backup. Then we need to also talk about the extra services. Extra services. Then monitoring and migration. So this part is remaining. Now what we can do in the next week, what we will complete the script part in 1 or 2 hours itself. 1 hour is also sufficient for that to understand the scriptings. And after that, we'll jump onto the virtual networks. If it is done within that next weekend itself, if we can complete that, we can also in the next weekend itself, we will complete the extra services, because we already discussed about the event grid and event hub. But if you want the demonstration on that, we will do that. Okay. And also we need to talk about the service bus and the queue services. Okay. And if time permits, I will also talk about the API management. Okay. And then maybe we will need one more day extra, only 5 hours of session for to complete the backup, monitoring and the migration part. Okay. All right. So that's it for the day. Any questions till now? Yes, team. Any questions? All good. Can we close the session for today? Okay. Thank you, Sahil. So let me stop the recording.